Hello there, folks. Welcome back. You're watching RPG Limit Break 2023, raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We now have a fantastic interview with our upcoming Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Randomizer runners. So, with Sonicshadowsilver, ZakTheRobot, and JHobz, we'll hand it over to Cutie-Roo.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Cutie-Roo SR. I have the wonderful Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer runners. This is ZakTheRobot. This is Sonicshadowsilver2, and then of course JHobz. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm excited for this interview because I love the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer. I actually wanted to ask a few questions to all of you. What was the randomizer development like for Kingdom Hearts 2? Since you all helped and are the devs, I would want to know what you worked on for the randomizer. And this question goes to ZakTheRobot and Sonic.
Yeah. So I'm definitely the junior of the two of us, Sonic and I. I would primarily do like C-Gen development, and only like the last couple of years. Sonic has been working on the randomizer for almost like 8 to 10. Yep.
But realistically, we're all equal in our amount of dev time on this thing, right? Like all three of us, definitely.
Sure, yeah.
So, JHobz, what did you do on the randomizer?
I made one mod that made some mini games lazy, so I could like drink some water. That's about it.
That's a great one. And then Sonic, anything you want to say about the development? Because I know that if you've been doing it for so long, I would love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I remember we bought Rando back since 2014, 2015 for a couple runs. And since then, we've been developing the program for the randomizer.
Like nonstop.
Yeah, so it started as a very rudimentary like memory location editing, and now it's got to the point where we can like do a bunch of different logic things. We can do a bunch of different like modifications to the game to make quality of life better. There's just been a lot of things done, and that's just the randomizer itself, not to mention the external stuff like the hint systems, the trackers. There's just so many different things going on.
There's a ton of people who have helped over the years,
Yeah.
gotten involved in everything. Like, there's too many for us to list. The contributors
Yes.
like, are really long.
There's an entire Discord user list that we would have to go through.
Well, it's amazing to see the development, especially not just with this game, but the other two as well. We have the Kingdom Hearts one and then the Kingdom Hearts 3. So it's very impressive how a group has come together to make the randomizers for each one, let alone spent the amount of time on each one. I definitely did have another question for you regarding the settings of the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer and what makes it different from the others.
Sure. So we'll start with how they're kind of the same from randomizer you might have seen. EXP is boosted, so it'll be a little bit smoother getting our stats. All the stuff will be shuffled around like a normal randomizer would. But in particular for this, we're doing a chain logic race where all of the locking items that are in the game, whether they're artificially made from the randomizer or just from the game mechanics themselves, they are laid out in a path that we have to follow that is very like, get this thing, which leads you to the next thing, to the next thing, in a long chain that leads to collecting the 3 proofs we need to actually get to the final boss.
Okay, and then so the proofs. What does the proofs mean, Sonic? What I know from my understanding of the proofs that that's something that was made for the randomizer in particular.
Normally, proof of connection or proofs, they're basically achievements. So with each proof you collect, you get a crown on Sora's head.
Okay, so definitely have to get those in order to complete it.
Yeah, because in the randomizer, those proofs are, rather than just being like these visual achievements like Sonic is talking about in the base game, they're used, the final door to access all the final bosses is locked behind having those 3 proofs.
Yeah, that's honestly, that's really fun to know about, especially if anyone who's going to get into the randomizers, that's important to know. I know that there is an incentive for the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer, right, JHobz? And I'm very curious about what it's going to change to the whole entire randomizer for the 3 of you.
Yeah, so we have an incentive open right now that is to add Lingering Will, or Terra, which is the hardest boss in the game. We could force that into the chain, basically, so that we are required to beat him in order to get something. And we would really love for that to be added, because it means that we're going to have to fight him with whatever tools that we've gotten up to that point in the randomizer. You don't normally when you play that, like fight that boss, you have everything in the entire game available to you, and we're not going to necessarily have that. So we'd love to get that added or get that met. We're going to have, ideally, if we get it met before the beginning of the run, chat, that would be incredible. Otherwise, you have, I think, up to like an hour-ish into the run to maybe make that happen.
Well, definitely. I'm very curious to see it. It's actually something that I would definitely want to see the incentive be met for. I appreciate all of you for being here, and definitely looking forward to this race. I know that that's what's the one thing that's interesting about this race is that you're going to see all three of them kind of converge. Well, they'll diverge at first, where they're going to have the data gathering and everything like that, but then they'll converge, and that's when it's going to be a little bit spicy, and that's when it's going to be neck and neck. So I just definitely want to say, Zach, really quick, is there any knowledge behind the randomizer about like what might get you ahead in the race or anything like that?
Yeah, so like because this is not really a logic-based randomizer as much like Link to the Past might be, or like a lot of randomizers are. This is more of like a build randomizer where your tools to fight enemies matter the most, and your knowledge of how to use those tools against boss fights and mobs will actually influence how fast you can get through them. So the routes that we all take might be different because we all have different preferences for different fights. But like some fights won't be faster because someone might know something that, or able to execute something that is more difficult, or really, the variability is kind of endless there.
Yeah, like if Terra gets met, we're probably going to do 2 or 3 different strategies between the 3 of us on it, because like Sonic knows how to do some extremely advanced, like difficult strats for that boss that are faster, but like maybe I'm going to do something that is a lot slower, but is way more consistent for me, because I just am not as good at those like high level ones. So there's a whole bunch of different ways to do that for basically every fight in the game.
I will say, you want to see Sonic do that boss.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, you do.
I want to see it for sure. I want to see all 3 of you do it, but also Sonic doing it for sure. I hear, like from the grapevine, that Sonic might have a very good, impressive way to showcasing it, because there is a difference of I don't know, something about the slashing and the way that you slash, or something weird like that.
We don't know too, because it's going to depend on what like abilities we're given over the course of the seed, because the way that we're doing this, we have not seen the seed yet, and even though we're using a tracker that's going to like give us the locations of a lot of the important items in the game, we are not going to do that until right when the seed starts, basically like right when the race starts. So as soon as it starts, it's going to be us like trying to push through various worlds in the game, but also trying to stare at our tracker and reason out, okay, what is the path of logic that the game expects us to take? Where are my important items that I want to go get? And building our routing based around that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm very looking forward to this run. Thank you all for being here. And just a reminder that we do have some prizes. We have the Kingdom Hearts All-in-One signed by Richard Epcar. It's a minimum of $20, and it's from the SID. And we have it until the SMT DDS2. We also have our Steam Deck that is $100 total, and then it's from the RPG Limit Break staff, and it's our grand prize. But we also have the cute little Roxas and Axel Perlers right in the front over there. So that is a minimum of $5, and that is open as well until the SMT DDS2, and this was from Red Silvers. I'm definitely thankful for you all. Good luck on your race, and I hope, I really want to see this incentive being met, and also just see a really awesome race between you 3, because you're all very talented, and I'm super stoked about it. So I will be happy to give it back to our host. Take it away.
Thank you very much indeed, Cutie Roo. Thank you, fantastic runners. Looking forward to this run. So, you are watching RPG Limit Break 2023, coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah. We are raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We also have a couple of your donations here. We have $20 from Games Stetson, who says, big time excitement for the series that got me into speedrunning so many years ago. We have to see that Lingering Will Superboss get crushed by these amazing runners. Kingdom Hearts hype? Well, I have to say, let's talk about that Superboss, because we have a challenge for you, chat. We have a challenge here. We have, as you heard during the interview, as you heard JHobz say, there is the possibility, if we can raise a total of $2,000 before about an hour roughly into the run. We're currently sitting at 1,479, so we do have to push that a little bit, see if we can make the runners include the Lingering Will super boss during the run. And as mentioned in the interview, that will involve changing up the route quite significantly. It will add a little bit more challenge to an already challenging run. So please, 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 folks, would love to see that. Get those donations in. Remember, you're benefiting Nami, but you'd also get to see the Lingering Will. Add another layer of complexity to an already complex run. And we also have another $50 anonymous donation without any comment. But thank you so much. All of your donations go directly to Nami. Absolutely fantastic cause. We will be ready very shortly for the next run, which is the Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Randomizer. Please stay tuned. No sooner had I hit the button than I looked at it again, and the donations are coming in. Please keep them coming in, folks. We've received a few more for you. We have received $10 from Echo. Let's get that Lingering Will incentive met. I totally agree with that. $25 without a comment from Rio. Thank you so much for that indeed. And Shuki donates $20. A scattered dream that's like a far-off memory. A far-off memory that's like a scattered dream. I want to line the pieces up. Yours and mine. Thank you very much indeed. Let's line up those pieces and get that Lingering Will. Please keep the donations coming in. We will be with you shortly. Hello again, folks. While we're waiting for the run to get set up, well, I'm looking at this counter going up all the time. We have just received a massive $500 donation. Let's hear some applause for that. We have received $500 from Wells, who just simply says, have fun with the run. Well, thank you, Wells, for your incredible generosity. That is absolutely amazing. We've received another $100 from Dowolf. Kingdom Hearts is puzzles. Thank you so much indeed for that one, Dowolf. And another $20 from Aeon Frodo. Good luck to all the runners. Really happy to see Sonic part of showing off this rando. He put so much effort into making it, and glad he can show it off to a large audience. Hopefully, we get to yeet the bear as well. Well, thank you so much again. Amazing generosity. Remember, all your donations go towards Nami. I'm going to have a quick look at that Lingering Will. Where is it? Let's have a look. We have made the Lingering Will incentive. Thank you so much indeed. Look at that. What did JHobz say? Before the run, and we've done it before the run. So thank you so much indeed, folks. We have received another $25 donation from Seriously Surly, who just says, let's fight terror. Well, thanks to that donation and all the rest of your amazingly generous donations, we have raised over $31,299 for Nami, and we will be seeing the runners fighting the Lingering Will. Can't wait. Going to be absolutely fantastic. Hello there, folks. Welcome back. You are watching RPG Limit Break 2023, coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah, benefiting NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We are now ready for our next run, which is going to be the fantastic Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix Randomizer Chain Logic Race with Sonicshadowsilver2, JHobz, and ZakTheRobot. Please take it away.
And hello, welcome everyone. I believe we are live here for commentary. I say live, I'm in my house. I'm SpikeVegeta, and I am joined by two other amazing speedrunners and people who are live at the event. Why don't you both go ahead and introduce yourself? Let's start with Violin.
Hi, I'm Violin. I'm primarily a Kingdom Hearts 1 speedrunner, but I've dabbled into KH2 Rando a lot, and yeah.
And I'm HeroicSpiritGamer. I haven't speedran particularly anything in a while, but I've been doing a lot of rando for quite some time, so I'm excited to be here. Excited to actually commentate Kingdom Hearts for once.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolutely exciting race. First time we have featured Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer at RPG Limit Break, and this is with an amazing set of settings called Chain Logic. Basically, here's the simplest way at home. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. They're going to be running around opening up chests like you do in randomizers and pulling stuff out of them. They could have magics in them. They could have little combo modifiers, little stat increases. They could have maps. Maps don't do anything, but that's great. They could have things that unlock worlds that let them go further into the game. Below you, if you're like, I have no idea what's going on, that's all right. We're all in this together. You see the 0 out of 24. That is going to correspond to each of our 3 runners. Basically, this is a chain logic race where one item will directly lead to another item, to another item, to another item. When their number gets to 24 out of 24, they basically win the race. This eventually is going to end in them finding the major items required and then defeating Final Xemnas in order to save the whatever happens in Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer. I don't know if it's the world. I don't know if it's Mickey Mouse. We're saving something today. So with that being said, we've got 3 amazing runners right here in JHobz, ZakTheRobot, Sonicshadowsilver2. Y'all just got to see all 3 of them have an amazing interview right before this with Cutie. And yeah, we're very excited to see how this sucker goes down. The race to the finish. Let's make it happen.
Absolutely. And with that, I believe we can start getting the runners to load up their trackers if you want to do a countdown for that. All right. All right. All right. They're all good to go. So now for the actual countdown. Let's all count down together, shall we? So
Let's do it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo!
Good luck.
You have got 3 of the absolute best in Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer. Right off the bat, they're going to be spawning into the Garden of Assemblage. So this is basically our repurposed hub world for the purpose of the Randomizer. You're going to be seeing all these different portals start popping up. After they go through their opening menu, see what kind of nice goodies that they can find to utilize. You can see a bunch of different movements to make themselves just move faster throughout the game. A lot of super fast, super satisfying menuing going on right here. And now opening up the first kind of starter chest. And now you see a bunch of little portals that have appeared above them. All of those normally would correspond to a bunch of super bosses you would go to, but they have been repurposed to send us to Disney Worlds. That's right. In the randomizer, we do not have to do gummy missions. That's awesome. We are seeing Zak right away jump into Pride Lands, the first of the worlds. I expect to see Sonic and JHobz following there. Violin, tell me a little bit about why we're in Pride Lands.
We're in Pride Lands because you start with very fast movement as Lion Sora, and you don't have to find movement anywhere else. And at the very start of this fight, all 3 of these runners are doing there's like set RNG for the first attempt, where you can just mash triangle at the start to get the reaction command and kill both of these enemies very, very quickly, just using the reaction command at level 1. And they gain 7 levels here as well, which is very nice.
Yeah, but as this is supposed to be done, so they're all at level 1 right now, like you'd be in the vanilla game. In the vanilla game, you would already be level probably 20 something here. So you see, while they're able to get that consistent strat, Sonic unfortunately taking a death right there, and Sonic's one of the absolute best in the game. So it just kind of goes to show you, sometimes we lovingly or unlovingly, I don't know, call them the two idiots. They can still claim your life whenever they want to. So Sonic's gonna be taking a second crack here. Yeah, he's gonna let him start to come up, see if Donald actually gives him the stun. Taking that open to try to take out the second one, Sonic should be good to go. Now, Heroic, I want to ask you a little bit. This is now the gathering phase, I say, of the speedrun. You're running around. Before you get into too much more combat, they want to find tools. Heroic, what are some of your favorite tools to run into early on in a KH2 rando seed?
Well, there are several of them. I mean, primarily you want movement, so you can get around into non-Pride Lands worlds much faster. Other big ones are combo finishers. You want to see Explosion, Magnet Spiral are the two main ones. You also want to see Drive Forms particularly. Not only are they great combat tools, they're also checks, which, as a matter of fact, you'll see that their starting check was Master Form, which is the first entry into their chain logic. So that means that leveling up Master Form is going to be the indicator for where the chain's going to proceed from here. So it's actually, Drive Forms are probably going to lean towards being more important in this run. And y'all can't see it at home, but we do have the trackers that they're using in front of us, the more detailed trackers, and we can see that there are, in fact, 9 checks on Drive Forms in total. So very much Drive Forms will be incredibly important this run in terms of routing the experience for them, making sure that they're including them in fights as they go along, making sure that they're not sleeping on those.
So you got them, they're just about done with this Pride Lands shotgun, as we call it. The shotgun approach being a very common routing strategy in KH2 Rando, where you dip into a bunch of different worlds and just get a lot of just the quickest, easiest checks you have access to. Some of the most notable stuff that you found in there was Slide Dash. That's one of the best combo modifiers out there, just a really good gap closer to make a lot of other fights potentially much easier later on. We also, I believe, you guys can confirm for me, I believe we saw a money pouch right there for our players.
Money pouch next to the chest, next to Simba. So ethers now are not a problem for most of the run. So that's unusual, but we'll take it for sure.
Yeah, very, very nice to see that early on in the run, because these players, getting that allows them to have 5,000 additional money. And I'm not being stupid. That's what it's called in the Kingdom Hearts universe. So take it up with the mouse. Money, they have 5,000 additional of that, so they can buy a big fat stack of ethers and just keep their MP replenished so they can utilize magic and limits and other stuff like that all throughout the run. Ooh, Zach finding one of the best magics in the game, Reflect. Violin, do you want to explain a little bit, Vile, why Reflect is probably the best magic in the game?
Reflect is very good because it acts like a defensive spell, so you can, deflect projectiles or enemy attacks, similar to Guard, but it also deals damage to enemies if they hit your barrier. So it's very good against groups of enemies and one-on-one boss fights as well.
Yep. And we'll also see that
all 3 players electing to jump into different worlds. Yeah, go for it, Heroic.
Yeah, I was just going to say, JHobz has elected to go into Disney Castle, and there's a few reasons for this probably. First of all, we can see that Final Form is in this world somewhere. Final Form is one of the best tools you can get, and also we now know that Master Form has checks on it for the next part of the logic, so leveling it up could be important, which we haven't mentioned it, but your Drive Forms are capped by their maximum level, so it's how many forms you own +2 is the max level you can get them to. So getting more forms to level up Master Form could be important before we can find the first chain logic check that is pointing us towards. Additionally, one of the incentives was for Lingering Will to be included as part of the run, and so unlocking Disney Castle early, he has to do it anyway. So JHobz is looking to go here probably as well for that.
All right, looks like Zach here is actually trying to force Final Form, and they did find Light and Darkness in the Garden of Assemblage, which basically guarantees either Anti-Form or Final Form if you go into a Dry Form, and there are enemies around. The cool thing about these 2 rooms in Agrabah is because your party gets removed in that room, it refills your drive back to max, and you can go to the previous room and just keep going into drives over and over again. So he did get Final Form eventually right there.
Yeah, so what's funny about, again, this chain logic process, one of the final steps in it was actually having to get, and this was brutal, final form from Terra. We already know it's there based on our more detailed tracker that we have on our side. So in reality, if you all didn't meet the incentive, they, because of being able to force final form here, could have completely skipped Terra. But because of y'all's generosity at home, donating towards RPG Limit Break and this amazing cause, they're going to have to fight him anyways, simply for the sport of it, and once again for that good cause. So that's awesome to see.
Yeah, and we haven't mentioned it, but Sonic is in Halloween Town. This is also a great world to go to early because there's 2 force fights. The first one you can intentionally die to just get past it real quick, and the second one you can just use Jack's limits to get through extremely easily as well. And there's quite a number of checks here. I think it's like 13 chests you can get here. So we had the runners have a pretty big divergence off the bat. All 3 of them go into a different early good shotgun world.
And I believe Zach found a negative combo on Abu Escort, and with 2 negative combos, if they find the second one, they can do some cheese strats on boss fights to completely bypass their revenge value mechanic, which is really cool.
Yeah, this Kingdom Hearts 2 is one of those, like, people always talk about how broken, so the balloons of Dream Drop Distance, various magics of Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 2 just has 500 different broken tools in it, and Violin bringing up one of them right there in the double negative combo. That very decent chance we might see that utilized by multiple of our runners throughout this. I believe I just saw there was that explosion on Zach's side in Bamboo Grove.
We also just had
That is amazing to see.
second chance from JHobz in Disney Castle in Thomas River.
Yeah, JHobz, knowing that second chance was there, I wouldn't be surprised if he went there for that, and as a good place for him to potentially force final form as well.
Yeah. So we're continuing to see all of them go to different starting worlds. This is actually kind of impressive. All right, we finally
Yeah, so everyone's got their own approach to like how they go to these shotguns. At the end of the day, after about 15 minutes, they all converge in the same spot. Like,
Right.
All right, I've got my tool set. It's looking like they're gonna have slide dash with a guard break and an explosion. The 2 best combo finishers with an amazing combo starter on the ground. And other than that, I can't really see the stats from here on my end. I hope they're okay.
I'm looking at like 17 strength, 18 magic right now for Sonic.
So pretty balanced,
Yep,
actually.
so for Zach and Hobbs, I'm seeing 18 strength, 14 magic.
So it could be some preferences of which of their keyblades they have on, which accessories they've thrown on. With those, you can obviously get your stats up really, really high. They want to get those up, ideally for all of the main story fights they'll be utilizing here. Anything up over 35 or so will pretty much cover the main plot. But if they're having to do any super bosses, including Terra, those stats are not going to mean much unless they get all the way up to 60. So you have kind of a dynamic where sometimes in these randomizers, you'd almost rather there be like a dump stat where maybe your strength is terrible, but your magic is really, really good. The strength will get scaled up because of how Cage 2 handles that stuff, but the magic will actually be able to go over that, or vice versa. Here they're staying pretty balanced, which can be okay, I think, anything outside of super bosses, just so nothing's super lagging behind. It's all pretty context sensitive there. So you're seeing here, once again, anybody who coming in late, if you're wondering what's going on, they're all in a bunch of different worlds. What are we going to do? If you want to have one thing to latch on to, just look at the bottom center part of the screen, that X out of 24. They are following different steps. They're finding one item that gives them access to another set of items, to another set of items, to another set of items. When they get to 24 out of 24, they win. So if you're going purely by that, Zach and Robot, and Sonic and Shadow and Silver, all 5 of them are one step ahead of Hobbs. Hobbs, at this point, it's all kind of jockeying for position. Their main focus is finding all the tools they can in easy enough spots so they can take on whatever fights.
And we did see an air combo boost in OC as well, which is very good for air combos, obviously. Basically, the longer your combo is in the air, the more damage Sora will do over time. So it's very good for a lot of aerial enemies. Zach finding the picture on Master Form level 2, which is an unlock for Twilight Town? Yeah?
Yes.
Correct.
So, and because Master Form was our starting piece of this chain, he now knows that step 2 is going to be the Sandlot fight in Twilight Town. So in order for them to find their next step, whenever we'll see Zach or any of these other runners potentially push through Twilight Town, the first couple of fights there, to figure out what that next piece of the logic is going to be. So that is a 3 to 2 to 1 lead for Zach. HobZ only behind, I assume, because he has not forced Final Form yet.
Correct.
Maybe waiting. I generally like to do it here in Halloween Town. Do either of you have kind of a preference of, I like forcing Final Form in this world?
I like to do it in Space Paranoids, personally.
I like doing it in Halloween Town as well, actually, because usually in Halloween Town, it's very short movement, and also you usually stop right after the chest checks, which is right where you want to do it anyway. So unless you somehow push Halloween forward, it's one of the, I think it is the quickest option, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of, I've heard so many people. I love that Violin has the Space Paranoids approach to it. I was like, I don't know anyone who that's their favorite.
I didn't
That's
know you
awesome.
could.
We're getting different.
I
things
actually
right
didn't even think about it. You can do it there.
Right.
Yeah, there's almost every world. There's like some place you can
something,
do it. And we see Zach now pushing into Twilight Town. Again, we know because Master Form gave us the picture, which is what unlocks the second visit to Twilight Town. He's going ahead and pushing his chain progress. Plus, there's a ton of checks in here. Their movement is very good. I believe they've already found not just level 2, but level 3 glide. And getting that glide up makes you really feel like you can just see they're zooming across these bigger rooms to pick up these chests. Heroic, you brought up earlier how Halloween Town is a tiny little world, which is their preference for why that's one of the early worlds they'll go to. They're very small rooms they have to go to. You're not that hindered by having lower movement abilities.
Yeah, with Glide 3, you'll see them moving around pretty fast, which is definitely going to speed up getting through this seed, which is not typical. Not always.
JHobz getting that explosion combo finisher in there as well. You get to see the power of Guard Break and Explosion potentially. Guard Break being one of the combo modifiers that pulls on your strength stat, while Explosion actually scales with your magic stat. So Zach now going into the station fight right here with Final Form.
Yeah, so we see him making the play for Twilight Town now because he knows that the picture is pointing him here, and he also taking the chance to level up Final Form, which having Final Form for this fight, you don't always have the tool to get Final Form before this, because this is one of the early world checks you want to do. It's so dense, and Twilight Town is huge, especially if you can get Twilight Town 2 and Twilight Town 3. It's one of the most check dense worlds, and it's also a great spot for experience grinding as well. So you don't see runners holding out for Final Form for that spot a whole lot, but when you can get the chance to, it's really great.
I really like that strat he was doing, where he was waiting for all the enemies to gather around him and then scooping them up with the Final Form jump. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I've not seen that before either. It's really great.
Yeah, a lot of times what you're trying to do in that fight, there's a number of early fights in Cage 2 that they'll end after certain things happen. Either, obviously, you take too much damage, so it just transitions the fight. You deal enough hits, or just you last in the fight long enough. And that was one of them where, more often than not, you're trying to just deal hits in a quick enough fashion to transition the fight, which Final Form, all of its hits are dealing like 500 hits apiece. So you're able to get through it pretty quickly. Zach now in the bottom of the tower, picking up another aerial dodge, giving him that initial, almost like a double jump ability, and electing to bail out right now as opposed to transitioning further towards that second piece of the chain. Wants to get more shotguns done. Going to be going into Port Royal here for a front 3, potentially Space Paranoids if he hasn't been there for a front 6. And then we'll see if he reconvenes back in Twilight Town.
Let me know when you've got time for a few donations.
I think
Of
now's
course.
a pretty good time. We're seeing a lot
This is
of
great.
overlapping happening now.
Yeah.
So
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. We have received an amazing $250 donation from Brandon C. without any comment, but thank you so much for your generosity there. $50 from Pessilist. Hi guys, super excited to see you all showcase how much effort you've put into this. Shout outs to my boy Terra making your lives harder. Thanks, chat. Thank you for that. And finally for now, $5 from Rose Gurul. here to throw some love to these amazing KH2 random players. I'm so excited to see them go head-to-head with some fantastic plays and techniques. Let their hearts be their guiding key and lead them to victory. You guys are amazing, and I'm proud of every single one of you. Good luck and have fun, gamers. P.S. Yeet the bear, Hobbs. You didn't get DDQ, and I'm still disappointed.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding. You're awesome. Thank you so much indeed for those generous donations. Back to you.
Violin, Hobbs, and I will never stop catching crap for not yeeting the bear at GDQ last year.
So of note, I can see that Sonic also found a piece of the chain logic. I can't see his tracker from here because of the barricades we have up. Did he find the picture as well?
I would assume, from here he stayed, down the correct path. You see now, really Zach electing. A lot of times, so these players know, no matter what, you're going to have to check all of your first visits. Based on their tracker, there's only one single world, the Land of Dragons, the Mulan world. That's the only one they potentially don't have to go to. They do have some useful summons there, Chicken Little and Stitch. We'll see if any of our players elect to go there. But because of that, they know that they have to do all those checks eventually. So you might say, well, why don't they just do all of them first? They may want to come back later when they have a different tool set, allowing them to take out enemies a little bit faster, move through rooms faster. You've got Hobbs right now taking on the Bailey fight right here with some of his basic combos. Doesn't have too much in the way of magics, mainly just focusing. He's got that reflect. Ooh, but Leon, just like he always does in classic speedruns, messing up this fight for Hobbs right now.
Let's go. Nice.
Yeah, knocking them out of the combo before that reflect can land. He's mainly trying to get rid of all of the creepers. Once you're able to clear all of those, that will spawn in this final wave of Dusks right here. He's down to just the last few. He's kind of got to wait for him to do his little attack right there, and then he can take him out. So that is the whole first visit of Hollow Bastion that Hobbs just took down. And now he's going to have to wait till whenever they find the membership card in order to progress deeper into that world.
Meanwhile, we're also seeing Sonic be the first person to go to Beast Castle, and Hobbs is following right on his tail, actually. Beast Castle has a fair number of early checks, but then you have this mini-game corridor that he's about to go through on Sonic's side that can take a little bit of time. So this is kind of a deprioritized world for the shotgun approach, typically speaking.
Yeah, it's one of those where, like, there are genuinely a lot of checks in it. You got to be a little comfortable with going through the thresholder fight, which sometimes if you can hold out, you can potentially find a tool set that can one-cycle it. But we'll see with their current tool set again, where you know pretty much they have a combo boost that we just saw from Hobbs there, which that is an amazing tool to mix with that guard break and that explosion. Just like Violin was saying earlier, how with air combo boost, based on the number of hits in your combo, you'll deal more damage. And you're actually seeing Sonic elect to just use it right there, along with popping into Master Form, because this is going to drop a ton of Drive Orbs, which is the primary way in order to level up Master Form. It's actually the only way to level up Master Form.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we already know that he has the picture off of Master, but we don't know if anything else is going to be there in the future. Oh.
One of the very best tools in the game, the Flare Force. When you want to kill things quickly, duck flare. Woo!
I believe they also found auto limit in the courtyard, so they could level up limit form right now.
That's true.
Basically, how the
limit form, definitely one of the most powerful drive forms. Go ahead.
Right, and how the auto drives work is whenever you're at critical HP, it'll automatically activate, and you'll get like a reaction command to go into that form. Even though you don't actually have the form, you can still use it and level it up a bit.
Yeah, it's a great tool to circumvent things like chain logic, where you can maybe find the form early before you actually find where it is in the logic itself. So.
Yeah, that's hence why you're seeing like Zach and Sonic already at 3 out of 24 apiece. That because of them getting to force that final form, they're able to get one of those steps a little bit early, even though they've only technically found through step 2. And now we got Hobbs, should be getting his 2 out of 24 here pretty soon. Getting his picture, very nicely done.
There's an experience boost on Wishing Lamp. I can see on Zak's gameplay.
Finding one of those at this point is really nice because none of them have done Space Paranoids 1 yet, and that's where you really want this experience boost just for an incredible injection of levels if they can find them first.
Yeah, I really like both Sonic and HobZ utilization of Master Form in the Thresholder fight right there. Drops a ton of Drive Orbs on a form that, when you're deeper in a seed, you may have access to a bunch of different locations with Drive Orbs. It can be really hard to find those early on. So I like them holding that Thresholder fight and pushing through here while also getting a lot of checks along the way. So that officially gets HobZ up to step 2 of the logic. Both of them, all 3 of our players now, their next step, where it is going to be in Twilight Town 2. Now, you might be saying, wow, they're only at 2 out of 24. We're 22 minutes into the seed. This is by far the longest process. It's just the gathering phase. Afterwards, each of these steps could be as little as one little mini game in 100-acre wood or one fight in another world. We don't know.
Yeah, the more tools that they unlock as the seed goes on, the more they're going to be able to get to when it points them in the right direction, just go there and take care of it. So it's going to start exponentially increasing and how the tracker's going to go up.
Sonic now, our second of our 3 players going through Twilight Town. Going to be trying to progress himself. Again, really, really nice of this seed to give them all those glides early on. They're at least at level 3 glide, which just allows you to have the zoomies all day long. It's great. Zak right now going for it, trying to get a guard with a reaction command right here, actually, for some absolutely massive splash damage off of those samurai. It's really good. One of the coolest things I think about Cage 2 Rando is you have to know sometimes 2, 3, 4, 23 different ways to handle all sorts of different fights based on what your tool set is. So if they came in here with maybe like a long range, a Blizzard or a Thunder, they could just snipe everything. Instead, you've had people like Zak having to utilize actually some kind of classic speedrun strats with that samurai reaction command to catch a lot of different enemies with big splash damage while also utilizing that slide dash into explosion. Classic ground combo that all 3 players have access to.
Yeah, and we mentioned it before, but tools can really dictate where they want to go. So they may have places where they want to go or the seeds pointing them, but they might not have the tools that might be comfortable. And so it can also be a challenge to be like, okay, well, I have less tools than I want, but can I still figure it out and get through it? It can be, you know.
Let's go.
And Zak has decided to go back into Twilight Town, so we'll see what he gets next.
And we have
progress the chain.
And we have HobZ forcing final form now, finally. So they're going to be tied on the tracker after this.
Yeah, very interesting to see HobZ holding out as long as he was to force final form right there. Again, they had Light and Darkness right at the beginning of the seed in the 3rd chest they opened. Didn't really cost him at all. I mean, he wasn't going over here yet anyways. And this will now allow him to get Master Form even more leveled up here in Halloween Town.
And then HobZ is using the carousel to get some drive orbs out of it for to level up Master Form. Oh, unfortunately, takes the death right there.
Yeah, that is a saucy room to try to move around in. Again, I can't quite see their stats right there, so I don't know how. A lot of Cage 2 Rando seeds, you may end up kind of a glass cannon-like build. Low defense, these enemies hit extremely hard. We didn't really mention it. They're all playing on critical difficulty, which is by far the hardest difficulty in this game. Pretty much everything in the game will be anywhere from maybe 3-shotting to a lot of 1-shots on you for just getting tickled. So,
in general, this seed's looking pretty even on the attack and magic distribution. I can see for HobZ, he's an equal 22 and 22. So, most of the variation is going to come from equipment at that point.
Do either of you have a preference? Do you like to just say, just give me like all magic? Or no, I kind of like a bigger strength seed.
I think I more prefer the heavy magic seeds, to be honest, because it deals with crowds a lot better.
I would agree with that, actually. I mean, largely I want stats that equal the toolset that I'm given, which is a little obvious, but if I had to pick between the two, I'd definitely magic.
And then Zak picks up Reflera and is now doing
very
the
nice.
second visit.
Yeah, so in theory, we should be seeing the next part of the chain in a moment for Zak.
Oh, beautiful knowledge of where these enemies are going to spawn in, trying to take out this enemy and then get into place so he can catch with that Reflera splash damage, taking out 2 of them and just able to catch the 3rd one while it was in its stun. Well done there by Zak. Let's see what the next step of the chain is. You get 1 check right there, and then he's going to get 2 more up here at the top. This will give them something. Yo, the skateboard usage. It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater time. Let's go.
All right. Oh, all right. So we have
Battlefields of War.
Yeah, so we have Olympus Coliseum 2, and you can see Zak going straight into Olympus Coliseum 1.
Yeah, Zak maybe now feeling pretty comfortable with his tool set. Maybe saying, all right, let's just go ahead and push through OC. Now, we know on our end, in terms of magics, the only magics they will find along the way will be a magnet here. So it could be in the first visit, it could be in the second visit, we don't know. But that will be added to their arsenal. Other than that, have our players found any of the classics, the fires, the blizzards, the thunders, or are they simply living on this Reflera right now?
No, right now we have either Reflector, Reflera, and we have Cures, which can be helpful for Berserk strats later, which we will get to when it's relevant. But otherwise, yeah, they're mostly toolless, though admittedly they do have second chance and once more, at least both Zak and HobZ do, which is some of the best defensive tools you want to see in the game.
And explosion.
A great way to counteract and explosion and slide dash is really good. They have nothing really interesting in the air. They don't have like a horizontal slash, an aerial spiral, a magnet burst or anything, but they do have those air combo boosts, which I really like. When I don't love my ground combos, I love finding air combo boosts, since they also got to start with finishing plus, because those back-to-back aerial finishers can deal so much quick damage. See Sonic also finding that 4th piece to the chain right there.
And he's electing to go into Hollow Bastion.
Yeah, just another one of the first visits he hadn't done yet. Maybe elected to get a little bit of experience for his final form. Trying to top it off before he makes his way over to the Battlefields of War location. Ooh, I love Zak here for the Cerberus fight. Great utilization of Reflect right now. And then the aerial recovery to get right back in his face. In about 4 reflects, melts Cerberus. Nicely done.
Zak also found Aerial Sweep, which is the first, I forget what they call it, like aerial...
Like a launcher.
Combo modifier, there you go, that's the word I'm looking for, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me know when you have a moment.
HobZ right now also going through the tower. So now there are a lot more just kind of going along the place. Ooh, finding the torn pages right there on Master Level 4. So that is another piece to the puzzle that HobZ gets to have a little bit early. The other 2 players actually don't have that. Again, they have to find all these things anyways, but potentially HobZ can jump forward slightly earlier in the logic.
Yeah. One thing we haven't mentioned is the way chain logic works is as they, the logic is pointing them towards the proofs. And so once they find a proof, unless the proof itself can indicate where the next chain is, something along the chain previously could branch off from there and then point to where they're meant to continue. And so finding the torn pages could be indicating where another split of the chain is meant to be pointing them towards. And we can see in the tracker that there's quite a number of checks in 100 Acre Woods, so that's probably the case, to be honest. But with that being said, we see HobZ here doing 100 Acre Woods and using that torn page, going through some mini games here, so we're going to have some time. So Tim, if you want to read some things, please go ahead.
Oh yes, we've got a lot of love coming in here. I'll try and get through some of these as quickly as we can. Okay, so we've received $20 from MS Kane. Here's one for the Birth by Sleep crowd. What's Aqua's favourite Enya song? After Ventus. And yes, that is the name of an actual Enya song, apparently. So thank you for that, MS Kane. Greatly appreciated. Romaniac donates $100. Zach, Sonic, and Hobbs are wonderful members of the KH2 Rando community, and I appreciate them all. Hard to pick a single person to root for, so I'll root for RPG Limit Break instead. Well, thank you so much indeed. Amber X Alt F4 donates $50. Got to donate for awesome people playing an awesome game. Good luck to all the Kingdom Hearts 2 Rando runners. Smiley face. And finally for now, F-Wayne gives $20. More money? More money! And with that, we have raised over $32,000 for Nami. Whew. Thank you very much indeed for your generous donations. Please keep them coming in. Back to you.
So we did see that magnet in OC that Zach found in the previous room before this fight.
That's a pretty big magic spell to be finding. We want to see, preferably Magnera. That can be a very great grouping tool for various points in the run. We're also seeing Zach going through Olympus, so we know that Olympus 2 is going to have something in the next part of the chain, and so we see him pushing through 1, going through Demix, and now on to Pete.
Yeah, we see Hobbs now taking the lead right now, actually going and getting that Bone Fist out of Piglet's house in 100-acre wood. That never stops sounding weird while talking about this Disney game, I guess. But yeah, Piglet gave him the Bone Fist to go back to Halloween Town, and now utilizing auto limit. Smart usage of it. You brought it up earlier, Violin, in limit form. This is my favorite form in the game. It's so good.
Yeah, this and final form are both incredible. Very much have their own uses, depending upon the fight.
And my favorite is Master Form because my favorite color is yellow.
Valid.
Master Form is extremely swag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's interesting too that we can see that the next part, a part of the chain was that Bone Fist, because that means that we now have visuals on 2 different parts of where the logic is pointing us. We have the Bone Fist, and we also have Olympus Coliseum 2. Bone Fist being Halloween Town 2. So we're being pointed in 2 different directions right now. But only Hobbs knows that.
At the end of the day, they theoretically want to fill up that number all the way to 24 below us. But they are also just trying to find these 3 proofs. The proof of peace, the proof of connection, the proof of non-existence in various different worlds. Theoretically, the chain should always end on the proof of non-existence, but we'll see Zach in kind of the brainchild for coming up with how this works. Says he likes the idea that sometimes you can short circuit the logic and reach the end a little bit faster through utilization of auto forms and other trickery. But we'll see how that goes down. Hobbs taking on Oogie Boogie right now, Sonic taking on the water clones, and Zach going through the town fight in Port Royal. Again, all doing stuff that they're going to have to do eventually anyways. Hobbs here in the 3rd visit. Now, he's got to be careful about that fist. It is nice that he has second chance and once more. Actually going into Flare Force right here.
Yeah, I think that's a...
Maybe electing to be a little safe. Oh, mistake. Okay.
Yeah. Also, a cool quality of life thing about KH2 Rando is Oogie starts in 3rd phase, and you can one-cycle him after he drops down, after you break his platform, instead of having to do 3 separate phases.
Yeah, there's a number of quality of life things. We actually kind of bypassed one earlier with Pride Lands, where you don't start with the dash immediately usually, but for the rando's sake we do. There's going to be a number of those little small quality of life things as we go throughout.
Hobbs now in the final phase of Oogie Boogie right here. The final phase of the final phase. Yeah, electing to try to get Donald off the floor so he can potentially use his Duck Flare. You see, even though Explosion hits pretty hard, yeah, Hobbs smartly switching over to the air combo boosts instead, as Oogie straight up resists magic. It's kind of a little known fact about him.
Doesn't that really bug?
So that is going to complete the 1st visit for Hobbs. We'll see if he elects to turn back around and just go in and chase where this Bone Fist he got out of logic.
Then he is. So of note, Halloween Town 2 does not have many checks. and they're all locked behind either a minigame or fights. So we'll see how deep it is.
Yeah, this could potentially go as deep as Vexen, one of our potential super bosses. Also one of the more challenging, just regular bosses in the game, the Experiment. He does have Duck Flare, and HobZ is an accomplished speedrunner of the vanilla KH2 speedruns. So I'm sure he'll feel comfortable going in with at least that to take on the Experiment, if it should get that far. Again, as soon as he finds whatever the next chain is here, he could bail and be done with Halloween Town forever.
Yep, and speaking of which, we know what the next part of the chain is from the tracker spoiler we're using, so it's going to be the membership card. So that's what HobZ is hunting for here.
Our barrel giving HobZ a little bit of trouble here, but I think he's got it now.
It doesn't matter which of the games, KH1 and KH2, these kids are absolute nightmares. And I don't mean that as a pun because of Nightmare Before Christmas. These little idiots are such a pain. Violin, I know you know that from your years of speedrunning KH1.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I just spam Blizzard. They're dead, dude. It's whatever.
Yeah. So we saw a little bit of small movement tech from HobZ by loading in and out of the world, because how the rando works is where your next main story event flag is where the rando will put you in terms of when you load into a world initially. And so you can easily warp save points depending upon how back and forth a world might be for its next event story flag.
Oh, wonderfully done right there by JHobz. What he did was he reflected an attack from one of the Heartless right there and then initiated Dance Call. Dance Call is an incredibly powerful limit, but it also has kind of a magnet ability of its own where it draws all the enemies in. So we got the Reflect, then drew them in, and then the Reflect splash damage went off, dealing tons of damage to the White Knights, and then was able to take them out with the rest of Dance Call before the larger, much more dangerous Heartless were able to get in there. HobZ has one more check left on this minigame, and then he'll have to at least clear through the Experiment. Are we going to get the membership card here? We are not. We got a big Keyblade. He's going to keep going. He's taking it on. We're taking on the Experiment. We're going to focus on HobZ right here, as Sonic is also making his way towards Hades here in Olympus Coliseum 2. Let's see what HobZ likes to open up with. He's going to go right in with the Duck Flare. Again, when you want to kill things quickly, Duck Flare, a woo, you can see absolutely incredible amounts of damage going in right there for HobZ. Now, he wants to try to get it down to the end of this HP break right here. Blocking him right there. He's going to try to slip to the side, guard that, and then you have to make sure you throw it directly behind Sora into the face. Trying to get away, give himself a little bit of space, get Donald off the floor, and then throw an ether, and then try to kind of break the pieces using the smaller charges of Duck Flare before he goes for the big blast. You should see him drop down right here pretty soon, pop a few more ethers that HobZ likes to utilize the menuing actually instead right there. Very smartly drops into the auto limit to give himself a health refill, and now he can actually go for a Ragnarok right here, dealing a ton of damage and bringing Donald back to life. Smartly dropping back out and going for another Duck Flare, immediately breaking that last phase, and that's going to be a GG for HobZ. That was awesome.
And there we have the card as well, so we're not doing Vexen. At least not yet.
I would hope.
Actually, no, we can't, because we know that there's nothing left in the world.
And now let's switch over and let's focus on, let you guys take away. We are taking on Hades right now with Sonic.
Sonic here opting to use Final Form, just a bunch of air combos, and then some reflects when he retaliates, I believe. And, I think he was a... Wow.
What a play. I love the reflect. Knowing he was going to... So he was going to become invincible right there and have to go back into another red phase. But instead, Sonic using that retaliation, reflect becomes a more and more powerful tool the more game knowledge you have. And Sonic, HobZ, and Zach, they've been around for a long time. They knew where they were going to get that attack, how to reflect it back and deal massive damage, and getting wisdom form from it. Yeah. So that is the next change to the logic.
Sonic was also doing this really cool tech with Final Form where if you mash the glide button, your Keyblades do so much damage. So he did that right before the reflect to do in order to kill him in time.
That was very impressive.
That was very good. Yeah, seeing some great fights, seeing Zach take on the Prison Keeper right now. And so we know now that, logically, the next step of the process was Wisdom Form. So what this means is either Wisdom Form up to level 4 or Master Form up to level 4 has to be the next step of the process. We actually already know from Hobz's screen, it's the torn page. Again, he got to skip this step of the process. Will he maybe have to pick up Wisdom Form eventually with that Battlefields of War anyways? We'll have to see how the logic goes down. But Sonic already seeing all the way through Wisdom 4, has not seen anything, so it had to be Master level 4, hence HobZ got that torn page. Yes, you see now Sonic dropping into the Windows fights, taking out some enemies, trying to get some little drive orb drops, and now he sees his torn page.
And then HobZ also found a Thunder earlier in Hollow Bastion in the corridors.
Yeah, Thunder is
going to be very useful.
Thunder is a very useful offensive spell, and we also already have the Shock Charm Plus. I'm not sure if all three of them have it yet. Oh, that's a very good accessory to increase your Thunder damage as well. So.
Loving Sonic's utilization of Magnet right there, right on top of those Hot Rod enemies. Some of the most notoriously awful enemies in the game to have to deal with casually. Here, just lifting them up so they never have a chance to break down your defenses and utilize those very devastating attacks. HobZ chasing around the enemies, utilizing those fire orbs from the Crimson Jazz right there actually has his own offensive spell effectively. And now that Thunder from Final Form raining down the heavens from Zeus.
All right, opting to do the Dancer fight before going into... Oh, wait, is Core on? Cavern of Remembrance?
I believe it is actually not on, yeah.
It's not on.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not on for these, yeah.
Yeah, so all of the checks in the Cavern of Remembrance will just be junk items, stuff like basically just synth items and stuff you don't need.
Yeah. Synth items, maps. At some point, I'm going to convince Zach to make a cartographer percent where you got to find all the maps in the game. That slowly gives you hints. That'll be sick. But for now, maps don't do anything, so I don't got to worry about it.
HobZ also using that wishing lamp there during that fight to get some extra experience, which is a pretty good move right there. And then going back for these two chests before going to Demix.
If he goes.
I think he's just opting to leave the world for now.
Yeah, I could see him just dropping out right here just to get his drive refilled, but we'll see if he elects to turn around. Nope.
I was
he's
thinking
saying,
that as well,
I'm good with that step of the process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering.
He is finally going over to get this step. Okay. Yeah, this is one of those where, because again, very technically, HobZ, by getting that torn page early, jumped forward in the logic, but he is electing to say, he's looking at his tracker and says, I want to get back in logic right now. And once again, utilizing that experience boost, as long as you are at or below half HP, you will gain double experience points for everything you kill. So that can obviously be very, very useful. Already getting him up into the mid-20s right there.
Let me know when you've got a moment for some donations.
I think that would be a good time.
That's good.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. We have received $20 from Inbit Terrain. Good luck to Zach, Sonic, and HobZ. All three of you are incredible racers, and I love watching you guys play. Zach, Janet is with you in spirit. Thank you very much indeed for that. Seraph donates $25. 3 great runners and better guys. So happy for you. Good luck, have a great race, and remember, nothingness is a turtle. I like turtles. Thank you very much indeed, Seraph. And Alios donates $100. So glad to see my favorite randomizer being raced for a great cause. Good luck to all the runners. I can't wait to see them take on Terra. I know they're going to rock it. Thank you so much indeed. Back to you.
We see Zach here starting the experiment fight. And he's about to get the next step in the chain from Experiment.
Meanwhile, HobZ found Olympus Coliseum 2 unlock, and so he's going here immediately to finish the first visit as well.
Nice utilization of Dance Call there to push him into the next phase. And then, ooh, slightly missing. Oh, wait, no, he actually got it.
He caught it.
Sometimes you can throw that perfectly and it'll just randomly miss. It's very funny.
Experiment is definitely one of the more questionable fights, I would say, in this game. The game had to get released eventually, but that's okay. And now they're going to be taking them on. I like Zach just doing a full 2 finisher air combo into the reflect off the retaliation. This is like I was saying, just the more and more game knowledge you know, the more powerful a tool a reflect is. Because it really just turns into your DPS is just up and up and up the entire time. You deal a bunch of hits, they get a chance to retaliate, but you're just sending that damage right back at them.
And then going
Zach
into
also utilizing that Ars Arcanum, or that Ars Arcanum, that Ragnarok right there, and just gonna finish him off right here.
Well done.
And there's the membership card for Zach. So we'll probably see Zach going back to Hollow Bastion now. Yep.
And that should effectively, tie up everybody at 7 steps into the chain apiece. So you're going to start to see these go faster and faster as they go, because they're slowly running out of first visits, which is where kind of the bulk of the time is spent in a KH2 rando. And it's really just figuring out what this next step is at each part.
Another really funny quality of life here. Apparently, randomizer players hate the urns minigame, so...
Dude, I disagree with this.
They decided, why not just make 1 urn drop 1 million orbs? Why not?
1 million.
Yeah.
I'm such an old man yelling at the cloud over here. Put the urns back in. It requires skill. It requires knowledge.
I'm with you, Spike. It requires you to have a tool set to get through it faster.
Let's go. This commentary team, this is my kind of team. I don't know if Violin agreed with us or not as well.
I agree. We're at 3 out of 3 votes, so we can veto the rule set now.
Let's go. Get this QOL out of here. I want to suffer when I play video games, okay?
All right, I don't know about that one.
Sonic coming in. I want to suffer. Got Sonic going in there again, utilizing those air combos. Again, just the basic overhead. Here's the funny thing. The stuff like guard break and explosion on the ground, absolutely better than your base ground combo finishers. Your best air combo finisher might just be your base finisher for multiple different reasons that we'll get into later. Magna Burst can definitely be good for crowd control if we're able to find it. But just that basic one, nice quick damage that comes out. HobZ here in the water clones, utilizing some duck flare and some explosion, actually. Already prepping up. Again, they were daddy Warbucks at the start of the season. They got that money pouch. They are utilizing those ethers, being as aggressive with their strats as they possibly can.
Also, I don't know.
Have to do one last little cleanup.
I don't know if we mentioned, but they got Peter Pan in Hollow Bastion as well, and that can be used to cheese a variety of boss fights, because he actually bypasses revenge value for some. Like he just keeps staggering bosses, and they can't break out.
Yeah, and it's that actually finding Peter Pan makes the arrow sweep that we found earlier even more important, because those two combined make for an excellent combination for certain bosses.
Right.
Yeah, funny enough, it was Peter Pan was locked behind beating the Experiment. One of its best fights is actually on the Experiment. You can keep him just stun locked the entire time, all the way from 100 to 0. It's like we said, anybody who wants to get into KH2 Rando, you're like, oh, all these strats, they look too difficult, maybe some of this stuff. There are so many strategies that are very accessible and very just kind of good, almost like cheesy ways you can take out the bosses in a lot of ways. But cheese can sometimes be another word for effective as well, which you'll see from some of these players. HobZ able to take out Pete. So now effectively you've got the players all kind of tracing each other's steps off of that out of logic torn page that HobZ got earlier. So now he's getting back into the logic to go get what he knows from his tracker is going to be wisdom before him. He doesn't know how deep it is. We know it's going to be on Hades. So he's got Hydra, a couple of minor fights left, and then Hades. And then HobZ will be picking up his 8th step of the process.
So interestingly, we had Zak also leave Hollow Bastion 2 at the same spot that HobZ did. So they both elected to not do Demix yet.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot smarter to come back later when you have Wisdom form, because in KH2 Rando, after beating Demix, you can actually go into Wisdom form before you go into the Final Fantasy fights, and that's one of the best places in the game to level up Wisdom form. And since they know it's in the chain, they're going to have to potentially level up Wisdom form, so it's just good to leave Demix for later until you have it.
Yeah, that's definitely the exact reason why HobZ and Zak elected to say, you know what, I will come back here a little bit later. Let me get back into the logic, because odds are pretty good. They're going to need that wisdom form anyways to get one of those or even potentially multiple of those other pieces of the chain off of our dry form levelings. Because again, and we talked about it a little bit early on, the dry forms in KH2, when you only have one of them, you can only level it to level 3. It caps at that point. Once you have 2, like they got to start with this seed, both of those can go to level 4. When you have 3, they can all go to level 5. So on and so forth up to when you have all 5 of them, they can all go up to level 7. And based on where they are in the chain, they're able to determine where all they could find that next piece based off of which form they find.
And then Zak picking up the final Reflect upgrade, so now it'll be very big and hit a lot more enemies. Very, very useful.
Yeah, it actually, a common misconception that some people have, it doesn't actually, Reflect does not do more damage at Reflera and Reflega. It's just splash damage is a lot bigger. You can catch a lot more enemies. And particularly jumping from Baby Reflect up to Reflera, you're going to be catching a lot more enemies. It's a lot easier to catch them in that. Zak also picking up a fire here. I believe that's the first fire.
I think that's the first one, yeah.
They're in Treasure Room. Wow. Yeah, that in particular mixed with Final Form, creating a little vortex around you is an amazing way to shred through a lot of it.
We might see him go for Demix now, and he is, absolutely.
And Demix is actually has a weakness to fire, so he's probably going to be utilizing Final Form fire against Demix right now.
Yeah, so looking forward, we know there are 2 pieces of the chain still here in Hollow Bastion. One of them will be available to us by the time they take out the 1K Heartless. It'll either be another Torn Page or it will be the Beast Claw, the unlock for Beast Castle 2. You're seeing Zak right here getting him pretty close and then going into Mega Duck Flare, taking out the last of the water clones, and now he's going to go in for 1 explosion combo and then pop immediately into Final Form. The reason why Final Form Fire is so deadly is because it does not add revenge value. Revenge value is a mechanic in this game that basically determines after you hit the boss enough, an enemy, they will retaliate. For whatever reason, Final Form Fire does not add revenge value. So you can see, how did Demix never retaliate right there? That would be why. It's a broken mechanic. Throw it in the pile with the other 20 broken mechanics in this game, and it's great. It's a great way to shred through bosses. Yep. And now you're going to be seeing Zak. Zak has picked up Wisdom Form, right? He's beaten Hades.
No, he has not. So,
he is not. Ooh,
so
right.
Sonic is the only one to find Wisdom Form. Both Zak and HobZ left Olympus before OC2 and did not find that Wisdom Form. So the play on Zak's part now is finding out, we know that the next check is here. Is it the Torn Page or the Beast Claw, or heck, even both? So the question is going to be, how deep are they? So after these Final Fantasy fights, we're going to have 4 chests, and then the 1000 Heartless fight. We're probably going to have to see both, but we'll see.
That Magnet Explosion is putting in a lot of work there. They have an ability on one of their Keyblades called, I'm blanking, Finishing Plus, which lets you use Magnet, and because Magnet counts as a finisher, you can go into the Explosion finisher right after that. Just very, very amazing. Does so much damage. It pulls enemies in and then does a lot of damage to them with the explosion afterwards.
Yeah, even at Baby Magnet, just that little bit of pull where it basically needs to be on top of an enemy, it's almost more useful as just like a stun tactic. It's really just to get to the explosion faster and faster, like you're talking about, Violin. It kind of cuts out the middleman of having to do the wind-up combos to get to that point. HobZ liked to go through Poro. I like this. Once again, it's another world he knows he has to go through at some point. And because he had that experience boost, HobZ has been doing a really good job all throughout this seed with leveling up where he can on whatever fights. So taking that just enough damage to get below half health, feeling safe because they all got to start with second chance and once more, and then just getting double the amount, kind of the double the pace out of all the different enemies that he takes out.
Okay.
Speaking of experience boosting, we got Sonic right now in the classic screens, Heroic.
Ah, yes, we do. So yeah, he's going through that. But at the same time, we have Zach. He found the torn page and is looking to leave before the 1,000 fight and go check that. He's about to find the proof of keys.
Oh, he's going back. All right. Because the proof of peace is actually, it's 1/3 of the proofs that they need in order to beat the seed. But it also is the unlock, the final unlock for Hollow Bastion. They know they'll have to go through the 1K Heartless, and then the mushrooms check there. They'll give them 2 checks, one of which they know is going to be the Beast Claw, meaning Beast Castle will be the next part of the chain.
Right. And we can see that in one of 2 spots. It can either be post 1,000 Heartless on the FF102 characters check, unit in them, or it could be on piece.
Absolutely love the utilization of Magnet there from HobZ on Barbosa. That's been found somewhat recently by people where it just, for whatever reason, shreds through Barbosa's health bar. So HobZ the first to actually take down Port Royal 1. Again, something that all 3 of these players will have to do at some point. Really, a lot of what this seed is we're giving you all today, chat, is the content seed. You're going to be seeing them have to go to almost every single world in the game, do all of the first visits, and potentially have to take on a number of super bosses at the end, including a guaranteed Lingering Will or Terra fight that you all donated for. So that's awesome.
Now we're seeing HobZ go into the world that never was. So we know from the tracker that there are no checks here, but you eventually have to go through this world. And so I'm assuming that at this point he feels comfortable taking on Roxas and wants to just get it out of the way and get some extra checks in just to see if he has more tools.
Yeah, but interested to see what kind of build he's looking to bring in here with Roxas. He does have access to Guard Break, to Explosion. If he's going to potentially go for some auto limit strats with that second chance once more, is he going to steal his Keyblades? What's going to be the play here? Going to be opening up with a Reflect. Yeah, it looks like he's definitely got a decent magic stat, over 35. In with that Explosion, and then a Thunder combo. So by keeping distance right here, he goes for a hit, into a Thunder, into a Reflect. And now can utilize potentially auto limit right here. So taking a little bit of damage that, again, puts him in range where auto limit can be a great way to just stun lock him and take him out from there. I don't know if either one of you can see, does he have over 35 strength?
He has 30 currently.
Okay, so he's going to be getting scaled right now. He's actually electing to go in to try to finish off this combo. Yeah, and now he could at the end, just to be a little bit safe, I think that's smart. He's got the MP, give him one more DM. This wasn't the fastest fight HobZ was trying to go for, but I think he's playing it really smart.
Yeah, early on he was trying to do the Thunder and Reflect loop and ended up dropping an actually, I think he added in an extra input on accident, and that's what's led to this. So he's recovering very well, though.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my lord.
So this is an absolute berserk attack that you're going to be seeing right here. From Roxas.
That's
he's got to get off one more. Oh, he's going to get the Keyblade. He's going to get his Keyblades. HobZ right now is like, what's going on? Is this DLC? Let's go. All right.
That second chance at once more pulled some weight there for HobZ, but that's what we like to have those abilities for.
Yeah, we didn't really get to explain too much about what second chance and once more are. Hero, do you want to explain kind of the basics of them?
Sure. So second chance of once more. The 1 grants you, if you get hit from whatever health you're at to 0, it'll keep you at 1 instead, so you can get just 1 big hit and dead. And the other one prevents you from multiple attacks in 1 combo from the enemy go below 1 HP. So combined, as long as you have more than 1 hit point when you get hit by anything, you will remain at that 1. You must be at 1 when you get hit by something to die at that point.
Sonic finding Valor form on Wisdom level 5.
Wow.
Ooh, finding that next piece to the chain. And what this means is now he can actually get all of his forms up to 6. And that updates immediately. So finding Valor on, that's right, you can find a form on another form. Now he's obviously going to stay in Wisdom until he at least gets it up to level 6. Because that could have been the next piece of the chain.
Let me know when you've got time for a few words.
I believe
hold
HobZ
that
is about
thought.
to do Zigbar.
I was going to say, I think he's doing Zigbars. This is...
Ooh, exciting. Yeah, maybe moving some things around. Yeah.
All right.
He's got that duck flare again. HobZ, an accomplished speedrunner of Cage 2. So where you are used to, where we're talking about like their stats and everything, and in Cage 2 speedruns, your stats don't matter. They're always getting scaled. And what I mean by that is Cage 2, like a lot of other Kingdom Hearts games, if your stats are below a certain point for a given fight, they get scaled up to doing a minimum amount of damage. And right now, unless he was able to move around some accessories, his strength is probably still below the floor, which is the primary tool you want to utilize for taking out Zigbar. But he does have that duck flare. That is your #1 tool always for going through him. So we'll see if he kind of elects to go for the classic strat or if he's going to bring him into another room. Yeah, he's electing to try to kind of butter him up a little bit, not get him below 1 more bar of damage that you're seeing, and then get him into the other room where he'll potentially drop into final form. Yeah, he wants to stop the damage right there. Sandbag at this point. Let him have some attacks. Ooh, hitting him a little bit more. Okay, still getting in there. Not going to pop over. He's going to have 1 more attack. Ooh, and then he's going to go for Duck Flare. Okay.
All right.
Ooh, okay. Really trying to butter him up. Going for those aerial spirals. Aerial spiral has kind of a little quirk about it, that it actually does more damage when it is inside of a duck flare. Oh, he's got Berserk Charge.
Yes.
He's okay. Now he's getting him set up for the final 2.
Here we go. All right, so now, Final Form plus Berserk Charge, you can pretty much just mash X, and you're going to just keep doing this, and there you see it. So that's the bar.
Nice. Well done by HobZ. And now Zach electing, he wants to keep moving through this chain. He's already done most of his first visits, only a few left for him. He is taking on the 1K. You'd really like to bring like a Magnera Plus into the 1K. That can save you literally a couple minutes in this fight. But instead, he's going to deal with the RNG. You want to see these little robots give you these kind of quick art reaction commands right here and not the big long windups. They're going to literally go through 1,000 art lists, which it can also be decent for just getting some levels right here. Good utilization of some reflect right there when he knew other laser attacks were coming in.
So on HobZ's side, we found Auto Valor, which is interesting. So we now have another shortcut around one of our last drive forms.
Potentially.
Potentially. Additionally, we were busy with HobZ and Zigbar, but Zach in Space Paranoids reported the first boss of Visit 1 found Trinity Limit. And so that's another great tool for a number of fights that we look to see that he's going to probably making use of at some point.
Yeah, it's got 2 different ways you can use it. It can either be as a group tool if Donald and Goofy are both in the party with Sora, or it can just be a solo usage from Sora to get out some decent physical damage. And it mixes really well on solo fights with Sora against, various different bosses.
Now we have HobZ going for that Wisdom form.
This would probably be a good time for donations.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I would agree.
Thank you very much indeed. We have a few for you here. We have $50 from Mr. Manny. Hey, everybody. Always have to show support during a Kingdom Hearts run if I can. Shout out to my homie Banjo on the commentary. Thank you very much indeed for that. We have Cold115, who also says, shout out Violin, the best Kingdom Hearts 1 speedrunner. Good luck on the run. And Clucky donates $5. I'm so happy. Thank you very much indeed. Well, we're happy with all your amazing donations. Remember, all your donations go towards NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Please, please, please keep those donations coming in. I hope you're enjoying this fantastic race. And back over to you.
All right, Zach finishing up 1K. Let's see if we get anything good.
No, not yet. So of note, we're looking for one more thing. We're looking for the Beast Claw. So we have one check here on Yuna and Co.
Yeah, and they know this isn't going to be it because of how the chains are going to place it. They know it's going to be on mushrooms, but still another free
True.
check. You would always like more tools, more just stat increases. Yeah, Sonic able to clean up that 1K as well. And now HobZ, the third and final player to take on Hades again. HobZ not really behind in this, even though the numbers say that. Just kind of was able to jump around Logic for a little bit and has, I think, smartly tried to get back into Logic right now, taking on this required Hades fight. And there is that Beast Claw for Zach that completes the Hollow Bastion visit for him. And now we'll see if he elects to just go to continue that chain.
Yep, he does. Of note, Zach has not done OC2 yet, so Zach is still lacking the Wisdom form as well.
Yeah, which not only doesn't mean he can't level up Wisdom form, he can't level it. He's gated how much he can level up his other forms. So there is HobZ, 8th piece of the chain, getting Wisdom form. And we'll see how quickly he probably can pick up. He's already done the next step. He knows he's already done that by getting the Torn Page. But again, that gives him Wisdom form. He can now start leveling that up and see if he can find something else out of it. Sonic right now exactly halfway through the chains in the seed. Taking on Darkthorn right now. Zach following behind him, about 2 mini bosses behind him.
Ooh.
Oh,
that
beautiful
magnet?
quick kill from
Wow.
Sonic right there.
That was very impressive.
Yeah, popping into Final Form, and like Violin was bringing up earlier, that that little flight from Final Form having the Keyblades twirl around, that does ridiculous damage. It drains Final Form of its bar pretty quickly, but when you have it nice and leveled up, you can see Darkthorn's already down to 1 bar, and now he's down to half a bar, and now he's dead.
Then finding
With a finishing leap as well, they have all the combo finishers.
Yeah. HobZ is still working his way towards, actually, I forget. I think it is the final.
I think HobZ right now is just kind of finishing up the first visit of Agrabah. This is, once again, content he needs to anyways.
Yeah.
And I think right now he's chasing, he knows there's a fire here. We know he's about to get a fire.
Yeah, that's what I was.
And there
that's what
were
I was trying to
2,
remember.
and there was another reflect here.
Mm-hmm.
He got the other reflect.
There's the
He just
Valor.
got Valor on Wisdom 5.
Yep. So now he knows, once again, he can also just get Wisdom up to 6 if he wants. Yeah, dropped out of it real quick. Maybe kind of realized, like, wait, I can keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
The Sonic is continuing into Beast 2. He's hunting for the Proud Fang, and there it is. So we're not seeing
There it is.
Golden
That was
today. And there's
Yeah,
fire
that is
for
a
HobZ.
quick step into there.
And he's
There's
going
his fire.
Yep, he's going straight for Pride Lands. So for Pride Lands in this upcoming fight, he has a Reflect and Thunder, which are the tools you primarily want to see for this. So Sonic probably has all the confidence for this fight. He's heading straight for it.
And there is a DM skip you can get on Scar. We'll see if Sonic is able to pull it off.
So here we have a fun strat. We're just going to magnet and wait. And then they're going to, oh, he missed one.
Aw.
Yeah, so if you magnet
Who still got all 3?
If you magnet these idiots, they will attack you, and you can just reflect them and
Nice.
just loop that, and it's a pretty free fight. HobZ electing to go.
I do
into
like the
Elemental
routing
Lords.
strategy here from HobZ. Yeah, taking on the Lords with that Valor form he just
Ooh, a
got.
Thunder
There's a
on
Thunder on
Valor.
Valor 3.
Ooh.
That's Thundara with a Shock Charm Plus, so that's really good.
All right, Sonic doing
Yeah,
one
they
hit
have
on
at least one other Thunder boost. Yeah.
Sonic is doing one hit on Scar and then prompting him to retaliate. And then in the second half of his HP, using that reflect and going into Simba's limit, which should be able to do enough damage to bypass the desperation move. We'll see. Not quite,
not
but
quite.
he
Oh,
can
he's got a little bit
There.
left.
Nice.
Can he get him? Very nicely done by Sonic. That is an absolute nightmare of a fight right there. Awesome to see Sonic taking that out first try with no DM.
Yeah, it's going to be curious to see if he goes right back into it or not. He is. Okay, so there's 2 more checks in this world, well, 2 more fights really. Hyena, second fight. This is a quality of life change for the randomizer. There's only going to be 1 Hyena of the 3, so it's going to be a very simple and straightforward fight. And so we're either going to see our check there, or we're going to see it deeper on Earthshaker.
Yeah, which is another fight. It's akin to almost like Shadow of the Colossus at the time.
Yeah.
But not nearly as cool.
They do have Berserk
I see
Charge.
Zach going for the same strategy here from Hyenas.
So we do
Yeah,
know
you
they
bring
have
up Berserk Charge,
yeah,
an
so-
amazing tool.
Yeah, so we know they have Berserk Charge, but do they have Horizontal Slash?
I don't believe so.
So we're not going to see that combo for Earthshaker if Sonic has to go that far.
Well, you actually get that by default in the second visit. The Sonic is using it right now.
Right.
Yeah, the little corkscrew square attack. Yeah, basically the horizontal slash of Lion Sora. Yeah,
Yes. And we did not have it on Hyenas, so we'll see if Sonic goes straight for Earthshaker. He probably is. He's already
And
here.
then datas are enabled, so data SciX is on the table as well.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a 50-50 chance effectively right now. Groundshaker's going to give you, I think it's 2 checks. I guess it's a 66-33. And then SciX will give you 1 check. Funny enough, if they have to fight Data SciX, they will get the regular SciX check early as well from World That Never Was.
Yeah, but we know that check doesn't have anything on it.
Yeah. Nothing of super importance. It could actually be like, it could be horizontal slash for all we know.
That would be very funny.
That would be extremely funny.
All right, we have Zach following up on Sonic here as well, going into Pride Lands. HobZ is doing the Final Fantasy fights, presumably going straight for the Thousand Heartless fight afterwards as well, once he doesn't find what he wants.
Yeah, you saw HobZ leveling up forms quite a bit there. Again, for all he knew, one of the next steps could have potentially... He short-circuited a little bit by getting Wisdom to level 5, which logically you're not supposed to have at this point. That's not supposed to be until they get at least Limit form or Final form later on in the logic.
But here we have
so he checked
Sonic.
around, see what he could get.
We have Sonic entering Berserk Charge and just mashing, and you can see the health bar gone.
And then when the screen
Yeah, that's
flashes
fun.
here, Sonic is going to go into the Wildcat limit and just zoom all the way up using that limit to deal the finishing blow.
And the reason why this is good is because since you're in a limit, it never the boss never gets triggered from seeing like, oh, they're coming towards me. It doesn't see you yet. So you're able to just get in the hit before it's able to do anything, get invincible or anything like that. They're fighting Data SciX.
And he also just got a second negative combo, so he can use that against Data SciX.
Oh my lord, he's going straight in for it.
Now, there's a couple different avenues here. You could double negative combo him. You could also, Violin, you brought up the power of Peter Pan earlier.
True.
Which one would you prefer here? They're both similar.
I find negative combo to be much more consistent, especially on PC.
I would agree.
Yeah, sometimes all based off of, do I have like an aerial spiral or not? We know at least HobZ has aerial spiral. I'm not sure if Sonic has had it. electing to open up with Final Form. And yeah, he has that aerial spiral, the 1-2 hits with Peter Pan. And this is going to be the next 17 bars of health taken out of Data Science. To get whatever this next piece is, spoiler log right here, it is going to be the next torn page.
Yeah, so this would probably be a good time for donations.
This would be a great time for donations.
Thank you very much indeed. Greatly appreciated. We do have a few donations for you. We have $25 from the K1, who says, the show the darkness, who's boss, Sonic? Less than 3. Well, I have to say they're showing Syax, who's boss right at the moment. And we've also got $5 from Danky Kang without any comment, but thank you very much indeed for your generous donation towards Nami. And we have Eros Phyllis with $20. I fell asleep with the stream on, as usual, during RPG Limit Break, and just got woken up to SpikeVegeta's lovely voice. So recognizable, and it just makes me smile to see such a panel for a Kingdom Hearts randomizer race. Very much glad it did wake me up. I somehow missed the event last year, but I'm glad to see it back on track after COVID. Love the RPGs we see, always discovering new ones every time, and for such a good cause. Good luck everyone throughout the rest of the week. May the speed and fun be high and the technical difficulties be low. Well, thank you so much indeed, again, for all your generous donations towards Nami. Please keep them coming in. Back over to you.
Yeah, I don't think there's a better way to get woken up, to be honest.
And so we see the first check was not anything yet. So
yeah, so it's going to be this one right here. And there's that torn page. So that is the 14th step of the logic done for Sonic. And now going to be going into Kanga's house. These are going to start coming real quick at this point, potentially. So one of these 3 chests has to have something. A fire. That's great to see.
Another torn page.
The thing is, another torn page. We're going to the spooky cave.
we're going to the cave. That's excellent. So the cave is, well, we'll see it, but it's going to be 8 checks. And we know we still have a number of things in Hunter Wood, so probably see a number of them here.
Now, I'm trying to see what's left. So it's either going to be the ice cream, which would be the 3rd and final visit to Twilight Town, or it will be the skill and crossbones to go to Port Royal 2, which Sonic has not finished that visit yet. So we'll see which one happens to pop up here. Again, we know that from the tracker, but we don't necessarily know what order we're going to find stuff in.
Right.
So we'll see if Sonic elects to... What Spooky Cave is, it's a little bit of an escort mission. He's first going to say, I ain't escorting anything. I'm just going to run forward. He's going to open up 5 or maybe even all 6 of these chests to see if he finds anything good. And then he will just simply start over and lead them through. The skill and crossbones, meaning he's going to have to go through Port Royal 2. That, HobZ a little bit behind the other runners, but he's already done PR1.
And Sonic is electing to actually finish the minigame here, presumably to try to find that ice cream.
And then going for a bee skip here, which there are certain triggers here for the bees that can spawn here, and Sonic can jump over them to completely bypass the enemies. Normally, if the enemies spawn, the 100 Acre Wood characters, they'll stop in place and you have to defeat the bees, and it takes a long time. But he doesn't have to do that here since he bypassed all of the triggers.
Oh, I was about to say, HobZ is playing super aggressive, skipping over this one chest, saying, I love my build. And he's like, wait, I didn't mean to do that. Went back, got his 1 extra check, and now he's going to go get his mushrooms check, which we know is going to be the Beast Claw. And we'll see if HobZ elects to just go directly back over to Beast Castle. There does hit a point in the seed where you say, I like my build enough. I like it for whatever fight I might run into, or you kind of hedge your bets on what fights you might have to do. Let me just skip everything and just get the progression checks. HobZ going to be picking up his 12th out of 24 right here. Sonic already blazing up to 16 checks right now. Sonic's got to get slowed down a little bit because he has to do all of Port Royal 1. He had done basically none of it so far. Utilizing Final Form with those big sweeping fires. That fire he got from Kanga's house to just take out all the enemies here in the little town fight.
And HeroicSpiritGamer seems to be going for Luxord here.
That's another thing that HeroicSpiritGamer has as a lead over the other runners. It's interesting how they've all had completely different ways they've elected to route this. That HeroicSpiritGamer has already done over half of the world that ever was. All three of these players are going to have to fight through that because that's the only way they can get to the final boss in Final Xemnas. HeroicSpiritGamer still trying to work on more limit form right here. Again, all the different forms level up from doing different things. Limit form is simply do limits, and every time you get it, you'll get an experience point for it.
And then Zach
We'll see
picking
what
up
he's
the
up to if
wisdom
he's maybe
form.
up to limit 4.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so now all three of them finally have wisdom form. So I think all of them can get up to a max level of 6 currently. But how they get there is different for each runner, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only thing left is none of them have found the limit form yet, which we know is in Space Paranoids behind the second visit. And again, we'll see whenever they actually gain access to that. But yeah, HeroicSpiritGamer now taking on Luxord. Going to be going through, reflecting some of his card attacks back, and utilizing that explosion and that big magic stat to deal a ton of damage. Love to see 2 Thunders on Valor 3 and 4.
Zach also going into Data Psyx. See what strat he goes for here. Double negative combo.
Nice.
All right, good. We've seen 2 different ways to take on this fight. A similar way, it's basically just how Psyx falls to the floor. A lot of the more humanoid bosses in this game have this interaction.
Sonic just found the scimitar on Valor 6.
Yeah.
Ooh. So another possible short circuit of the logic right there, allowing you to get into Agrabah 2.
HeroicSpiritGamer is going for the DM skip. Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice.
And getting
Nicely
slap shot.
done.
Slap shot.
Yo, Slapshot, another good ground. Boy, their ground combo looks great. Their air combo looks like it's from the Walmart bargain bin.
That's pretty accurate, actually.
I guess they've got aerial spiral. That's really good. But yeah, this basic overhead finisher like you're seeing on Zach's side with Data Psyx, just the way it knocks enemies to the ground, they, no matter what, even though their revenge value we were talking about is skyrocketing. They would, if he ever broke out of this, he would retaliate for about 5 minutes straight. But because of how they're knocked to the ground, they have to finish this animation. So you can use this to dispatch of them very quickly without ever giving them a chance to fight back. However, you do, as much as this probably maybe looks free, you do need a very good rhythm with your jump and attack, jump and attack, jump and attack to take him out. Zach, flawlessly done, taking out Data Psyx, getting his next step to the logic.
And we have HeroicSpiritGamer doing normal Psyx, so he did the no. It broke out. Wow. So what you want to?
Yeah, I like just getting up there with the reflex. Going to be picking up a claymore, immediately knocking him out of it, and probably just hitting him with a thunder for the win.
Yeah. Yep.
Zach now at Kanga's house, about to get his 14th step of the process, plus that Fyra and that Torn Page. So we should be seeing him go into Spooky Game and get his next step as well very soon. Sonic in the driver's seat right now, though. 17 out of 24 pieces of the chain. His big thing he's down on is just he hasn't done any of World That Never Was yet. Let's see if we see any magnet usage right here. Yeah, you can see how much more that damage is going down from Barbosa. Pirates, they don't like magic. It's pretty rough on them.
And HeroicSpiritGamer, I believe, is going straight. Yep. Actually, no. I think he might be just leveling forms for the moment, at least.
And getting some good levels here with EXP.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Again, that can really make the difference, especially knowing because of y'all's generous donations throughout the event, they will have to be taking on Lingering Will. By far the hardest boss in the game. Getting those stats up more and more is obviously a blessing.
Yeah, which the damage floor for Lingering Will is 60, so they'll need stats above 60 to deal more damage that isn't scaled.
I don't know if either of them are close.
We see counter guard on final level 5. Could be useful against Sephiroth, maybe.
Now we have
Another-
Sonic here in Port Royal 2 and going to be utilizing magic on Grim Reaper 2 as well. I love the Thunders to kind of reset him so he is not having a chance to transition and move out of the way.
So we
Magna
found
Burst coming in a
Magna
little
Burst.
late.
Yeah, that's the first major aerial finisher that we found, aside from aerial sweep.
Yeah, definitely would have been nice to see earlier on. That is I believe our first
I think it's our
Blizzard we have
first
found.
one.
Oh my God, there's one on Starry Hill. What the heck?
Torn page.
There's the taunt
And
phase.
there it is. There's the next chain. Another torn page. We're going back to Starry Hill.
Yep, so we're going to be getting Blizzara and the ice cream on Sonic's side probably soon.
The most important question, though, is Sonic going to eat the bear?
He better.
I need to
Listen,
know.
Violin, we know. You do not want to feel the wrath of the donators not getting to see the bear yeeted. It is the hardest minigame in Kingdom Hearts history, possibly.
We have
I think we should force them. They should have to get 99.99 here.
That should be the criteria to unlocking the door in the world that never was, to be honest.
Okay, it is a forced. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, we're going to be getting a yeeted bear right here. Can he get it? Can he time it? Oh my God, first try. The legend. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
6471.
And finding that
The
ice
ice
cream.
cream.
And Blizzard.
And there was the blizzard. Boy, blizzards were buried this
I
season.
could use
Yes.
a Blizzard right now.
That would be Well, they're almost done, so we can get that pretty soon.
So HobZ has elected to go ahead and finish off the world that never was. So now he's prepared for whenever he finds the 3 proofs to just go. And doing more form and experience leveling, it seems. Which we do know that one of the proofs is buried on drive forms somewhere.
And this is a really good place to do this,
Yes.
since the fight is 1 minute no matter what.
Yeah, this is something we haven't really talked about it too much throughout this run, but this is a very crucial thing when you know there is stuff on drive forms, but you don't necessarily know which form levels it is. You really want to route your entire seed around, okay, where is going to be the best place? I can maybe hold this for a little bit to get Valor form leveled up, to Wisdom form, to all these different forms. Sonic already finding the next piece of the chain. He's already at 20 out of 24 right now, finding that identity disc, which will give him access to Space Paranoids 2 and that limit form. But Sonic, having already found, what did he find out? The Scimitar on Valor 6. He already knows he's found that piece to the chain.
All right, now going
But
to
it
the
might
world
be
that
at the
never
point
was.
where he's finding out, listen, we need all the forms anyways. We have to get to level 7. He is finally dipping into the world that never was, as HobZ is just about done with it, taking on... Oh, he's actually done. Good
Yeah.
job, HobZ.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he is done. He's just using experience grinding here.
Yeah, again, this might look like, oh, HobZ's number is so much smaller than Sonic because he's already done a lot of World That Never Was. I do think Sonic's play has overall been a little bit cleaner throughout than the other 2 players. But yeah, this World That Never Was having to be all done like that can explain quite a bit of it. Electing to initially go in for kind of that classic speedrun combo with the guard break into the finishing lead. Now he's going to go for 1 hit into the Thunder, initiating that retaliation into a guard break. And then having the reflect off of that melting rocks is beautifully done by Sonic.
And that is the combo that HobZ was going for earlier. Beautifully done. So you have HobZ in Timeless River. I'm trying to remember, has anyone finished Timeless River entirely yet? Is HobZ the first?
I believe Zach did.
Oh, there's the last Blizzard on
Either
Master
Zach
Sword.
or... Yeah, there. Wow, we went from no blizzards to a full-on. That was large. That was a big cup right there. That was good. Now I want a blizzard. That sounds really good. Just thinking about food over here. We need these runners to finish. I hope everybody's having fun out there over at RPG Limit Break. It looks like a blast.
Ooh.
Zach finishing off his Port Royal 1. He'll be going into the second visit now. Should be getting his torn page as well soon. And we'll be seeing a Yeet the Bear very quickly. HobZ finishing up his windows right there with Duck Flare. So see how close any of them are to topping off their forms. They do know the final piece of the puzzle is on one of these forms, anywhere up to level 7. I don't know if at this point we've seen everything up to 6, including auto limit. Again, auto limit gives them access to that pool, but it doesn't expand what level it can go to. So you still have to find actual limit form, which Sonic is coming here to find out right now.
Yeah, I can't see Sonic's tracker from here, but I can see that HobZ is relatively maxed out on his drive forms. He has 3 of them at 6 and 2 at 5.
Sonic still needs to level Master and Final to 6, and then his limit is still at 1.
All right, I'm actually mistaken.
He is not, yeah.
So
HobZ elected to go all in on auto limit. Yeah, Sonic really hasn't touched it.
Yeah, so HobZ only has auto limit to 6 left out of what's remaining. Meanwhile, Zach is actually trailing behind kind of severely. His Valor is still 1. He hasn't found Valor at all yet, and he's not used auto Valor at all.
Yeah, see, maybe getting a little punished from not getting that wisdom a little earlier, so he'll have to kind of find creative other places. There's a lot of, the good thing about wisdom getting it late is that there's a lot of places where you can level that up. I am starting to wonder what Zach has left to get that off of. Grabbing that torn page, yeah, electing to just leave, not going to do those additional checks. He's done with Port Royal, doesn't need it anymore. He's going to be going to Starry Hill. As we know, he will also be yeeting the bear. Hey, what was that score for Sonic? 64-71. I'm going to make it. That was the canonical number. I'm sure that's what it is. Let's see if Zach can beat that.
And then we do have HobZ starting Agrabah 2. Which there's a really cool quality of life feature here that normally you have to like chase Jafar down, but you can just go straight to the tower. 85-77. Oh my.
What a monster. That was the best play of the seed so far.
Now the pressure's on HobZ.
So we see Zach making the play for the world that never was. No, never mind. Oh, he was resetting. Okay, got it.
Yeah, he was updating the worlds. Yeah,
so
it's a little quirk.
We haven't mentioned that, but when you get a world unlock item, it doesn't actually, because of how the hub world loads, it doesn't actually unlock right away. So going into the world never was real quick is a good way to force the game to realize, oh, you have the world unlock item, so you can actually continue.
And Sonic not finding this limit form before MCP. So now we got to go into this fight where we have the pre-fight, first of all, with Sark immediately dropping in. And he's actually going to get wisdom. Oh, that was a mistake. Yeah, I was like, ooh, the wisdom strats. All right. And now going to be going into final form. Showing some first-person swag right there. So it does look like Zach was able to pick up the identity disc right there. And now it's just going to be leaving, done with Twilight Town himself. Again, you're going to see these steps of the process dropping pretty quickly. So yeah, HobZ, having found that scimitar, now going to be coming over here, where he knows he's going to be able to get the proof of connection, which would give him access to Terra. Yep, there it is. That's it for HobZ, out of Agrabah. Where's he going? He's electing to now go find out what the Beast Castle leftover piece is.
Yes.
Again, you're potentially going to see HobZ and Zach knock out these numbers relatively quickly to catch up to Sonic. All 3 players playing very, very well this seed.
Yeah, so we're probably going to, in short order, see HobZ going for the Proud Fang straight over to second visit in Pride Lands and getting, I forget what was there offhand. I'm trying to look.
Another torn page on Data SciX.
Yep.
And with that, only a magnet. Cool, we have a magnet. Magnera. but we are taking on Larkseen, one of the most infamous super bosses in the game. You're first going to fight her absent silhouette version, which are like all the bosses that were taken out in the Chain of Memories video game. I know I'm asking y'all to play about 15 Kingdom Hearts games. Don't worry about it. But whichever ones were knocked out there, you get to fight a precursor, but very difficult boss. We'll see what Sonic elects for here. Maybe some final form fire. You technically can Peter Pan her as well. We'll see. He's even got Duck Flare. He could go for an absolute, I'm just going to say it, sick, nasty strat here on her with Duck Flare. Going to be jumping up, going to be pushing one form to the corner, then popping into final form, jumping back to bait them both to go to the wall, and then dealing damage to both forms at once with this final form fire. Going to get her just below 2 health bars, going to pop over, start Duck Flare, get his MP back, and then see a health bar.
Wow.
Beautifully done by Sonic right there. That was awesome. All 5 of her forms absorbing all that damage from the Reflect, the Duck Flare all at once. And there is that limit form. Sonic now has full access to all of his forms all the way up to level 7. He's running first over to Agrabah to see what this next piece to the puzzle is, where he knows the proof of connection is. Sonic is almost effectively in go mode. He knows where the proof of connection is. He knows one of these forms has the proof of non-existence. Again, I don't know exactly how leveled up it is. It looks like it's mostly limit form. He's going to try to, while going through Agrabah here, level up whatever forms he can. So starting off with Wisdom, it looks like, to find this final proof. And then he's just got all of the World That Never Was he has to go through.
And HobZ just got limit form 6, which had fire on it.
Okay, wow. A lot of magics on forms.
Yeah, so at that point, HobZ is actually form maxed out until he finds limit form itself.
Yeah, so with that, we know as the audience, one of the forms level 7s, we don't know which one, is going to have the proof of non-existence, the third and final major key to get to the final fights.
But at this point, I think we should throw it over to some donations.
I agree.
I was just about to ask. Thank you very much indeed. We do have a few donations here for you. Thank you so much again for all your generosity. Remember, all your donations go towards Nami. And we've received $25 from Acid Fire Boom. Fun fact, did you know you can freeze the bubbles in Hollow Bastion? Thank you very much indeed. $50 without any comment from Darkness_0. Thank you so much for your generosity. LM Motos donates $25. I know Final Fantasy IX is a while away, but no bids for Freya? Gotta fix that. In keeping with the theme of Garnet calling herself Dagger, how about we add a spear to the party? And that is going towards the naming incentive for Final Fantasy IX. We've got a whole bunch of those. You can name all the characters. You can choose the text menu background. We can do 2 players running disc 4 at the same time. And we have Act Out the Vivi Quina Wedding, which I have to say, we've got $50 out of $750 for that. Would really love to see that one. Would be absolutely fantastic. But thank you so much again for your generous donations. One more for now. $5 from Red Silvers. We didn't cast Faraga, no. We signed a wizard, but he came with Blizzard. Good to see the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer. Certainly one of those games that I was surprised to see had a randomizer. And I certainly am curious to learn more about it. Also good to hear Spike on commentary again. Good luck to all the runners, and thank you, as always, to everyone working the event for all the good work. Well, thank you, Red Silvers. Thank you, everyone, for watching, everyone for donating. Please keep those donations coming in towards Nami, and back to you.
So we did see Sonic getting Auto Wisdom on Wisdom Form 7. That's cute. And then Valor Form 7 had nothing on it as well. So that just leaves Master Limit or Final Form.
Meanwhile, Zach is cleaning up in Space Pronoids 2 and Data Larkseen here. Just a little bit more to go. Meanwhile, HobZ is doing Scar, did not get the DM skip. So he's going through this, but it should be cleaning up right here.
Yeah, this DM skip, I've still never learned this. It's so hard. Sonic makes it look really, really easy, but HobZ able to take him out, just give him one quick DM and move on. Zach able to take out Larkscene, had to do some kind of adaptation after he wasn't quite able to bait one of the Larkscene clones correctly, but then was still able to make it work really good. Just utilization of the tools he had in front of him to take her out.
Zach finally getting that Valor form on Wisdom. Very nice.
Yeah, and so with that, Zach has max level of 7 on drive forms. So only HobZ is still missing limit form. But that being said, Zach is very behind in terms of overall levels of the forms itself. He's at 1, 5, 5, 5, and 4. So he has a bit of grind to do to catch up here to the other two.
Let's see how Zach handles Roxas. Starting with the Reflect.
Opening up with that Reflect. Yep.
Going for the Thunder Loop.
Mm-hmm.
And another Explosion.
Oh.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Ooh, yeah. Oh, I like the Trinity limit. Yes.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, at this point, oh, yeah, he's going to limit form.
Nice. Yeah, the second chance and once more coming in very clutch right there. And especially the Trinity limit.
And there's that proof for Sonic. And so now Sonic's at 22, and now he's going into Zigbar.
Ooh.
Yeah, he kind of he sees the path to the end of the seed. He's gonna try to get probably final form and limit form topped off while going up through these fights in World That Never Was, and then probably his last check would be master form. We know it's either limit 7, master 7, or final 7 that has this darn proof.
And this is a great space to level.
And by the way, don't worry, chat. We didn't forget. Terra's still to come.
And a fun fact, these nobody boss fights actually count towards your final form. It gives you 1 EXP point.
A whole spirit point.
Yeah. There are nobody. You definitely get some cheeky final form grinding on there. I say grinding. It's an experience point grinding.
Yes.
It counts. It counts.
So Sonic is looking to do, I don't believe he has Berserk Charge on. He's just going for magnet looping and full combos with some fires. That's a really hard strat.
Beautifully done.
I do not know.
Yeah, that magnet in final form knocks Zigbar back and forth and keeps him stunned. And then he lands back onto the ground and is able to restart the combo while Zigbar is getting still staggered by the magnet. And it just keeps him looped forever. As long as you time it correctly.
Zach doing something very similar here. Has a half a health bar left. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Nicely done by both players. Loving seeing kind of the different approaches from some of them. I know HobZ feels really consistent about those Berserk Charge final form strats. Sonic and Zach electing to instead do those either fire or magnet juggles that kind of cancel the end of a final form finisher to allow you to just keep going into a new combo.
And we see Sonic switching to 30 FPS because in 30 FPS, Luxord's cards work how they're supposed to. In 60 FPS, there's some wonky physics where they don't really follow him properly. It's very strange.
And we also see Zach in his climb here is looking to start skipping chess. I guess he feels confident in his overall tool set, so.
Yeah, at this point, he can see kind of... Yeah. At this point, you can start to narrow down what are all the possible fights I have to do left in the game. And honestly, with this tool set and with the set bosses that are left, I agree with this play. Save those little bits of time. There's probably... Maybe you're going by, like, a horizontal slash or something in a chest, but you've got all your forms. You've got a very good ground combo. You know there are no magics here in the world that never was. Yeah, they've got everything they need.
So we have Zach and Sonic both on Luxord, and we have JHobz being the third person to go and clean up on Data Slice with a double negative combo. We're going to be here for a little bit, so maybe some more donations?
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah.
Sonic gets this DM skip. Bada bing, bada. Oh, good enough.
Oh, wait. Okay. All right.
Good enough. Okay, now we're good.
Are we good?
Yes,
Okay.
We're good.
Fantastic. Right, we've got a couple of donations here for you. We have $25, anonymous donation without any comment, but every dollar is appreciated. Thank you so much indeed, anonymous. We also have $20, again without a comment, this time from Uncle Dave. Well, thank you so much indeed for those generous donations. Remember, RPG Limit Break 2023 is coming to you from Salt Lake City, Utah, and we are raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, which was formed in 1979 as a grassroots advocacy organization by a group of parents whose children suffered with serious mental illnesses. And NAMI has maintained that focus to this day. All of your donations go towards NAMI, $32,216 so far. Let's keep those donations coming in. Back to you.
Also, we actually just saw the Pure Blood Keyblade. Some viewers might be watching and might be confused by what that is. It's actually a custom Keyblade that was added specifically for the randomizer.
Yeah, I believe that one was in the data files of KH2 Final Mix, but was an unused asset. I believe it.
Something like that.
Yeah. Oh.
Ooh.
So
HobZ, unfortunately, like I said, double negative is not the easiest strat in the world. It is very easy to drop that. Pulling out Peter Pan, honestly, just for some safety right there.
I'm so surprised.
Yeah, he could now.
Oh.
Ooh.
Man.
I honestly thought he was going to pop the limit.
Yeah, it's tough. You have to like bait a retaliation from him to pull him out. Because like we were saying earlier, their revenge value, so, you know, when they're going to commit revenge on you, is skyrocketing during that double negative combo. So he was going to attack HobZ for about 5 minutes straight if HobZ didn't do some way to kind of pull him out of it. Little unfortunate. Not sure if HobZ maybe messed around with his menu a little bit.
We just got
Ooh,
proof of
there it
non-existence
is.
on Master Form level 7. So
Yep.
that just leaves the
That is the
final
last
form.
piece of the puzzle Sonic needs. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so the missing piece of the chain, well, actually, Final
The
Form,
missing link.
Final Form being fourth counted earlier, right?
It did, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for Sonic, all he needs left to do this seed is he's got to go fight Terra, which is back in Disney Castle. He's prepped. Take out Xemnas 1 right here, and then the final fight. So Sonic might be, depending on how he elects to fight Terra, might be about 10 minutes from being able to take the W right here. Zach is just about to finish up his World That Never Was prep. He has just a lot more like drive stuff he has to peek through. Good job utilizing limit form right there to again get in that experience. Now HobZ taking his second crack at Data Psi X right now.
And then Zach going back to level up final form.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see which all forms he chooses to level in what order. Of note, Valor is still 1. So I don't... We know the proof is on Master Form now. So I think he's... No, I think the Scimitar is on a different form at some point that he needs.
Scimitar's on Valor 6.
So
yeah.
that's brutal. Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot of drives you're going to have to level up here looking for this different stuff. So Sonic is on his way to finishing. I think it is anyone's game for second place right now between HobZ and Zach.
Yeah.
HobZ a little more efficient about going through all of his forms. Now that number 16 for him is going to start going up pretty quickly. He's already about to get number 17 here at Kanga's house. This is immediately going to give him a torn page to go to Spooky Cave for number 18.
And leveling final form to 7 isn't necessarily a bad play regardless, because it could give you an advantage in the Lingering Will fight if they use final form during that fight. Because the more you level up your dry forms, the longer they last once you use them.
Zach electing to go for Valor form first here on the windows. Relatively low-level enemies, but let's look over. You all donated for it. Sonic is taking on Terra, immediately starting with the Duck Flare. He's got a regular combo on right now into the guard break and the explosion. He's got phase one right here. He's going to try to reflect through all of his different arrows right here, trying to trap Sonic in. It does look like Sonic is dealing minimum damage right now. Terra does have that kind of armor mechanic to him where the first couple of combos won't deal any damage, but after that, that'll break down and he'll start doing more normalized damage to him. Still here in phase one, so he has to keep a lookout for once he gets him down 5 bars of health, he'll phase break into phase two, where we'll see which phase he'll come up with. Ooh, getting caught in the middle of that. I wonder if Sonic didn't mean to have guard break on here. Generally, these combos work a little better if you just keep the explosion on, because yeah, he's got the combo pluses on. And yeah, getting out of there, barely quick running, barely guarding in time. We're starting phase two, and it looks like he's giving him another ultimate cannon. This is a great way to knock him up in the air if he's able to stay close. And now he's going to pop into final form and try to use that final form fire to not add any revenge value and shred through this second phase as quickly as he can to try to get to DM phase. Gonna have to get him to about 6.5 bars. Now stunning him with the flash step into the Duck Flare. Mega Duck Flare immediately was comboed in aerial spirals doing increased damage. Now he's automatically into phase three, popping an elixir, taking some damage right here. No, okay, get elected into cure anyways. And now we're here in his desperation move. The most ridiculous desperation move in the game. Going to be guarding the first 2 attacks. Ooh, getting caught right there. Let's see if he can still get away with the aerial dodge and the glide. He's now making his way to the wall, healing up the duck right there because he wants more Duck Flare. He wants more final form after this. Getting his back up against the wall so Terra can't warp behind him. Popping into another final form into those fires. Trying to bring down his health as much as he can to potentially one cycle this third and final deadly phase and not have to see a DM again. Will he be able to do it? The final form is just about run out, popping in another fire. He's going to try to butter him up with some more combos. Yeah, going to be smartly stopping at the guard break each time into the Duck Flare. He's got 1.5 bars left. Can he get this health bar down? Oh, what a natural. Well done by Sonic. Absolute clinic put on there. Great. I loved the shortening his combos through the guard break so he didn't add too much revenge value. Terra, one of his only, I guess, niceties about him is that his revenge value is very high. I won't go into the numbers or anything because that's, you're getting to speedrunning the game or something. But it'll actually let you wail on him a little bit. If he had gone all the way through the explosion in those ground combos, that would have absolutely triggered his retaliation a little too early, at which point he would have done some of his most deadly attacks. But he was able to perfectly final form into guard break combos, into Duck Flare to take him out. Beautifully done. And now Sonic entering the final 4 fights of the game with all 3 proofs intact, as Zach and Hobbs are trying to find these last 2 proofs. I'll say I do believe Zach is currently our leader in the clubhouse at points, about 8,500. Now, will Hobbs go for golf rules? Is he going to try to? That's going to the far side. Oh, that is a 3rd place finish for Mr. Hobbs. No blizzard for him tonight.
Except that one.
Except that one, yeah. And the ice cream.
Oh, yeah, I guess he did literally get a blizzard from that. Now, Zach here in Agrabah, while we were watching Terra, were either of you able to catch, was he able to find the scimitar on Valor 6?
He has not yet.
It looks like he's maybe going to be able to pop it all the way up here. Oh, is Zach's game broken?
No, he had a Berserk charge on.
Yeah, he wasn't able to pop into Valor form.
Oh.
He had 3 drive. I don't know.
I don't
KH2
know.
is a
There it
funny
is.
game.
There's the scimitar.
There's the scimitar. Perfectly timed, so he'll be able to go right into it and get that proof of connection. HobZ now at 21 steps in Space Paranoids as well. I don't know if he's even, it looks like he hasn't even done screens yet. He probably is more than leveled up enough. He's just going to make his way through. Meanwhile, let's focus on Sonic as he takes on the final 3 fights of the game. First of all, Armored Xemnas. He doesn't have a damage cap. So there goes 1 bar, there goes 2 bars, there goes 3 bars, and he is just about, Sonic played with his food a little bit, and he took him out. Boy, that is a meaty scream from Armored Xemnas there. That's so good.
Just one combo, and
Yep.
wow.
Yeah, Armored Xemnas 2 here does have 2 different HP gates, where once you get that, he knocks you out of the ship. You gotta come back here with a reaction command. Their stats are so high, Sonic hit that immediately.
Yep. There is some secret tech here. If you aerial dodge as soon as this cinematic ends and then glide over, you skip lasers. So that's primarily only useful for the second part where lasers actually spawn. So you're going to see it here shortly. So here he's going to just drop down.
Yeah, then Sonic went into first person there to get all of the lasers to spawn behind him.
That's tech I didn't know about.
I didn't know that's actually what that did. That's sick. I thought it was just him swagging out. That's awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's the aerial dodge straight into a glide. So it's going to skip lasers at this point.
Oh. Trying to be like.
Got one
oh,
more.
hitting the
Oh,
throne.
the clank.
Oh, that clank.
Oh, that throne's awful, man.
Oh.
Oh, Sonic, I believe in you. You can get this. There we go. Heck yeah. All right, get ready soon for time on Sonic. Sonic might be able to cut the 2-hour time in this seed. He's got simply Final Xemnas. We'll see. He's got Combo Master. He's got Guard Break. He's got Explosion. Might try to go for some swaggy ground combos here to deal out as much damage as he can to get in that laser phase immediately. Yep, the Reflect now going to land on the ground. The double Reflect into the Magnet, into trying to get the Explosion off. Wasn't quite able to get it, but already getting him down to 4 bars again. Maybe sandbag damage just a little bit. Yeah, and they're taking a ton of health off of Xemnas. Now they're going to be trying to go for the famous last skip of the run, the Dome Skip. Going to be coming up here very soon.
Oh,
Going to
my
try.
Lord.
Wow.
Oh, just took about time. Sonic's done.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, he did it so fast I couldn't commentate. Zach, now our second player to make it into Terra. Let's see what strategy he likes to go for. Immediately going to start with the guard, and then going to be jumping in for more double negative combos. Again, a much more straightforward version of the fight, but again, you have to do this. I think it's 187 straight times. And if you ever drop it, you're gonna die because your combos are so messed up otherwise because the negative combos are on. So we're gonna give Zach that focus, see if he's able to get it off while HobZ is making his way through the end of Space Paranoids to get that limit form, try to find that proof. Let's kick it over if we have any more donations as Zach tries to get these 187 straight double negative combos off.
Yeah, so
and there just broke out.
yeah, that happened because he got comboed into the wall there, so he was able to break out.
Let's see if he can recover. It's hard to recover at this point.
Yeah, has to kind of wait for an opportunity here potentially.
Like that one.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, so now he won't have. Yeah, he's going to try to potentially go through.
Oh.
Yeah, I liked the different ideas right there to possibly get it. The healing them took him out of the Berserk charge, which meant all of a sudden they became aerial spirals and not finishers.
And removing the Berserk charge to remove that problem and not going back in, yep.
Okay, let's see if he's able to start up this loop again. There we go.
There it is.
And now we can go back to donations.
Yes, please.
Yeah, now again, sorry.
No problem at all. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, we have a couple of donations here for you. We have $15 from Superstar Earth. So happy to see everyone showcasing this amazing randomizer. Happy to be able to see this amazing race with everyone. Also, everyone here are such amazing runners. Please support everyone and yeet those bears. Well, I have to say, I think the bears have been quite successfully yeeted today. So I hope everybody enjoyed a bit of bear yeeting. And we've also received $25 from a Night Flyer without a comment. But again, thank you so much indeed. Remember, all your donations go in towards NAMI. $32,256. Absolutely amazing. And also this run, can I just shout out Sonicshadowsilver? That was just absolutely amazing. Just to see that under 2 hours for the seed. Incredible. Right, back to you.
Okay, Terra hitting the wall again and breaking out. Sonic found a horizontal slash on final form level 7, by the way.
That's funny.
Okay, getting the loop again.
I'm sure.
Very nice.
Okay. Yeah, Zach,
All right, Zach, good adjustment right there.
And if anything happens, he has a panic option. He can go into limit form by just pressing triangle.
Yep. As like you said, sometimes it's all about how they get thrown to the ground by the finisher. That's what allows double negative to work. However, if Terra gets thrown into the wall, that can mess with that, unfortunately. So there's also not just jumping and hitting the button in a very specific rhythm. It's also making sure you're kind of going in a semicircle around the arena, not into any of the various rocks everywhere.
Yeah, you can also loop Terra with horizontal slash, like Sonic is doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is very, very difficult to chain all of them together. It's only a couple of frames you have in between each Hori slash to keep them into another one. But Sonic's pretty good. Nicely done. All right, we do have Zak. We have Zak down here with the final bar of Terra. Can he secure the W right here?
Very nice.
Well done. Meanwhile, we have got HobZ just about to get up to the Lark scene portion of the fight to take on, to get that limit form. Opening up here, I like the switching into the reflect from HobZ in order to take out both of Sark's legs. And now the explosion should be enough to pop open, or just about, one of those shields right there. Also making sure that Tron is alive so you can actually utilize this reaction command. Now he's going to stop early. This is trying to go for the 1 cycle. It's right as the health bar of MCP is sort of passing over a little bit over where Tron is standing. And now he's going to try to go around and get all of the rest of it in one loop. He's going. Will he get it? He got it easily. Well done. Unfortunately, it didn't give him what he wanted. He gets a Magnary, he gets a Flash Step. Those are both sick. But now he's got to take on Lark Scene for that limit form.
Unfortunately for Zach, he's the only thing left for him to do is to find where this last proof is on drive forms, and so far he's guessed incorrectly, and so he only has Master and Wisdom left.
Yeah, the main rule of Rando is Rando be Rando.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's tough with the drive forms being such a popular way in the chain logic to kind of be a part of that chain. A lot of these can turn into just like, can you efficiently check all of your drives so that it isn't as much down to randomness at the end? I think Zach losing an unfortunate amount of time to not getting that wisdom form a little bit earlier and just kind of put him a little bit more behind on like good drive options. Where HobZ and Sonic, I think, were a little more able to. HobZ, wonderfully done, taking out Lark Scene right there. Beautifully done. Able to kind of implement it a little bit more into their fights, their forced fights throughout the run. So there's Hobbs' 22nd piece of the chain, tied up with Zach now. It's who's going to check Master 7 first.
Hobbs still has to do Lingering Will, though.
And Terra, yeah.
So Zach now has everything at 7 but Master.
Yeah, I'll admit, I'm usually a Master 7 last kind of guy, so...
It depends on where I am. Especially if I have core. If I have core and I'm in nearby, I'll probably run in the core and just do Master 7 pretty easily.
And there's the proof.
And there it is.
There it is. That's the last thing Zach needed. Now he can go and take on the final fights as well. Oh, Hobbs is on fight.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a good leveling of Valor for him right there. Again, he knows now he can get all of his forms up to 7. And this is actually a pretty solid spot to get it. Pretty much one extended air combo with Valor form at decent strength will get him through each of his phases up to each HP gate.
That's it.
While also getting him that Valor form experience. Valor leveling up just from just hitting enemies. Even that little reaction command right there, that little twirl, gave him an experience point for Valor. Zach, our second player into the final fights. And I will see if Hobbs likes to first level up all of his forms or fight Terra.
I think he's just going into it.
He is going to Terra.
Putting on double negative combo. And we'll see if he can do it first try.
So we can get it first try. Right now, I will say, I don't want to jinx it. All of our players have died one time. They could get tied up at 1 apiece. I love these starting with the auto limit on the duck flare. Just no matter what attack was going to be used from Terra right there, they were going to be able to kind of iframe through it and giving them that opportunity, that opening to start putting in those aerial combos. 187. Can Hobbs count that high? I think he can.
Hobbs has a pretty good loop going here. He has it going in a pretty tight circle. So.
And this looks very good.
Yeah, this looks pretty optimal because it's keeping him right here in the exact circle in the middle of the arena away from all the rocks. So as long as he can have the correct rhythm right here, he should be good to go. And it'll just be how quickly he checks Master 7.
Zach doing some of my favorite tech in KH2 right here. Using the magnet and then pulling all the enemies in with Master Form Genie. I love this strat so much.
Yeah, it's a good way. So Magnet in this game by itself doesn't do much damage, but by hitting it with other things that are multi-hit, like Master Genie right there, you're knocking the enemies in and out of the magnet over and over again, so they're actually taking constant damage, and it shreds through them very quickly. Zach right now just sitting on top of Armored Xemnas and shredding through his health bar. That was 6 health bars in about 3 seconds. That was none. That was super, super cool.
All right, almost done here.
Zach on his second last fight.
Last bar.
Let's go, Hobbs. First try.
And first
the
try.
One, the only. Wonderfully done. Great rhythm, great placement there by Hobbs. Now just gotta find this proof, man. Gotta check Master 7.
Yeah.
I'm gonna telepath, but it's Master. It's Master.
Yeah, he has all of them at 6, so.
We all want to go get a Blizzard. Come on.
I think he's opting for Wisdom first. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Wisdom makes the most sense while you're here. You're obviously, these rooms are full of Heartless, so you can get leveled up pretty quickly. And if leveling any of these drives looks like a pain, these are super multiplied in the randomizer compared to what they would be casually.
Yeah.
Valor form, you got to hit things about 5,000 times before it's level 7. Here it's about 200. And there's a lot of stuff. Again, you both can speak to it as well. Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer is an incredibly fun time.
Absolutely.
The depth to it is incredible. There's so many options. There's so many. We didn't even get into it because it's not the category, but there's so many different categories, so many different hint systems. You can make whatever you want with this randomizer. It's astounding in every way. All right. So
Yeah, you're only seeing one thing I love about the KH2 rando community is there wasn't just like a one way to play the game. There's this chain logic that we're showcasing right now. Again, Zach came up with this idea, within the last year, but there's so many other settings for what your goals. If you really want to make your settings like you want to just fight a bunch of super bosses, or you want to keep it a little more casual, you can play on beginner. We have leagues that people play in for beginner difficulty and critical. Nicely done there by Zach, taking the second place.
So
It's time for Zach.
HobZ electing to go for Master Form
just
second.
finds it.
And finds it. Yep. All right.
Nicely done. And with that, now he's into the final fight, smartly popping into final form right there, just so he could reset his drive gauge as soon as he exits the world. Really, really good showing by all three of our runners today. But yeah, my big recommendation, get into KH2 Rando. It's so much fun. Join the Discord, kh2rando.com, and start getting to play these. Now, I know a lot of people have gotten into it and just start on like the beginner difficulty, a little bit easier settings at the beginning. Heroic, you just started a couple of months ago, man.
Yeah, I began playing. So I played it back when it was just the PS2 version for a little bit. But the quality of life back then was not the same as it was now. And so earlier this year, I began playing it again. I play all blue numbers primarily. That's my personal favorite.
That's a great setting. Yeah, one of those kind of a scavenger hunt to try to find everything in the game in the most efficient way possible. Very, very fun.
Yeah, essentially a randomizer 100%.
All right, so HobZ dropping in. They did get at least that Magneto. That was nice that they at least had to go through MCP, so they were going to get that second level of Magnet that does a much better job of pulling enemies in and getting you through this little cylinder part of the final fight. Dropping in, able to one cycle the first one. And then we'll see what he elects to go for. I could see HobZ just popping immediately into final form here in the actual core fight.
It looks like
as again, Violin talking about that swinging the keyblades on your flight into the core can shred through its health bar so quickly. Yeah, bam, and then drop in and just do constant jump magnets to catch all of them as they're spawning in. Fly into another one, drop an ether, jump, try to catch them all in the center, go to the side, catch them. You're not getting away. Fly into it again, and gosh, that was a clinic put on by HobZ there. That was a beautiful core fight.
And then probably some reflect fires here. And that Thunderous Flag finish.
Yeah, reflect into another magic is really good because it can make the reflect go off just a little sooner to go combine that with either the blizzard, the thunder, whatever you're doing, the magnet, to then have a massive explosion of damage right there. Love the slide dash into the reflect, into the guard break, into the overhead finisher by HobZ to take out that first 2 bars of health instantly. Oh, is he trying to go for like a magic lock on strat? Oh, now he's got to go. He's got to jump over all this now.
Oh,
there
interesting.
Yo, the magic lock on. Let's go. Yeah, that is you get an auto lock on with your magics. It's a seldom used piece of tech in Kingdom Hearts 2 speedrunning, but you can lock onto it with a thunder and then transfer that into like one of your limits, like Trinity limit right there, and literally warp you to Armored Zemnis to try to get that damage done even a little faster, cut out that travel time.
Oh, does it one more time.
Let's go. You're probably going to say, okay, not going to be dropping out of it. So we'll see if he elects to just maybe take a death or try to pop an ether right here. He probably won't be able to. He's going to get grabbed instantly because he's out of MP. Yep. Won't be able to do the classic Vines reflect dance here. Gonna be, instead popping into limit form and then reverting out of it into the reflex. Nicely done. Knew he was good on damage anyways. This is already going to get him all the way down to 4 bars. We'll see if he tries to go for a little bit of a laser skip. Nah, okay, going to be going for those reflects into explosion. So once again, final 3 health bars of the race today. Get ready for time on HobZ. Going to be hitting them, reflecting each of these lasers back at him. Reflect into a session. Caught him beautifully. Going for that dome skip. Last half of a bar.
Time.
GG.
GG to all 3 of our runners. Make sure everybody in the chat, if you have not followed these are 3 of the greatest runners in KH2 randomizer speedrunning. Also know a lot of just vanilla speedruns of the series as well. JHobz296, ZakTheRobot, Sonicshadowsilver2. Make sure to follow them all on Twitch. Let's also, Heroic Violin, let's plug yourselves as well. Great job on the commentary.
You can find me on Twitch at Violin.
Don't say another word.
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at HeroicSpiritGamer. I don't stream and I don't tweet a whole lot, but you will find a lot of content from me because I help out with GDQ and I run tech director for this event. So you'll find a lot of that kind of content.
Look where we are. Aw, come on, Riku.
Spike?
You can follow me at SpikeVegeta. That's great. Yeah. But once again, go play KH2 Rando. That's my plug. KH2 Rando is so much fun. Thank you all so much for donating to get to fight that Terra and fight Lingering Will. That was awesome to see from all 3 of our runners. And more donations for Final Fantasy IX stuff. That's my plug. Stick around. There's a lot more awesome speedruns for the week. Later, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. That was absolutely fantastic. I hope everybody enjoyed that run there. Shout outs to the amazing runners here. JHobz, ZakTheRobot, Sonicshadowsilver2. Also amazing commentary there. HeroicSpiritGamer, Violin, and SpikeVegeta. Before we go, I have one more donation for you. Zenitario donates $25 without any comment. But thank you very much indeed for that. Always appreciated. You've raised an amazing amount for Nami. That is, however, my time up for now. I will be handing over for the next run to Volovu. But before I do that, we will be going to a quick intermission. Please stay tuned.
And welcome back to RPG Limit Break. We're here in Salt Lake City this evening, still raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness. In an effort to support the mission statement of NAMI, we would encourage our chat, our donors, to avoid using mental health related pejoratives such as crazy, insane, nuts, mental, or bonkers when describing situations that are extraordinary. We would ask that you be mindful of the language you use, as many people do not realize these are pejoratives. Instead, consider using words such as bananas, wild, extraordinary, superb, amazing, or ridiculous. We greatly appreciate your cooperation in this and hope that you can carry this forward in your everyday lives. Coming up next, we're going to have Ultimate Saga, run by Chaos RTA. But before we get that going, we do have an interview with the runner. Chaos is going to be doing Judy's scenario for us. And that interview will be coming in just 1 second. And yeah.